Sydney to the left of screen. The breeze, if any, is favouring the opposite end, so Port Adelaide will have first use of that. And there is Daniel Motlop. So many Indigenous stars to look forward to. Daniel Pearce, I neglected to mention, off the top. But certainly Adam Goodes, his 200th consecutive game in the AFL, fourth all-time now behind Jimmy Steins. His career started here, round 1, 1999 against Port. As we get underway, and a free kick straight away going to the Sydney Swans. This is Goodes, bounding through the centre with a bounce. Now looking for Moore at the back. Jared Moore with a chance, runs onto the loose ball, taken down in the tackle by Salopek. That is after the event from Michael O'Loughlin, but a free kick going to the Swans.
Well, in the back there, John, and it looked like Moore, Jared Moore had a sensational game last week. He was just bringing across half forward, pushing up in the midfield, and we'll see the replay here. Good tackle initially, the ball's out, and gee, it's a little bit unlucky, I think it was Salopek, but the umpire saw that he pushed forward, and it was Moore going to his knees, which helped it.
Michael, that's your 5 minutes.
Jared Moore,
that's your line.
Reserves best and fairest winner with the Sydney Swans last season. 2 goals won last week in his best ever game for Sydney in their victory over Essendon. He's kicked 6 goals, 8 this season, but from that place he's hit the post.
Gee, that's a disappointing finish. He has been a very good player, Jared Moore. He's one of those young players the Swans have had on their list for a few years. Looked like it was going to take him a while to get there, but he's actually finally becoming a good AFL player, and that was a bad miss.
It's just 17 games in his 4 years. He has struggled a little.
What he's done, John, is he's taken his running, his endurance to another level, which he needed to do. When you're that size, you really need to have a great engine, and that's what he's been so good at being able to do in the last couple of years, is really work through games. And look, that's a bad miss, though. There's another clearance to the Swans, which the Port have really got to get on top today because they're great at the stoppages.
Kirk, clearing kick. Knocked down by Chaplin in his 50th AFL appearance. Michael O'Loughlin keeps it alive, but Chaplin is there. Salopek to help out as they go cross ground.
Now, Chad Corns is working off Goodes here.
Has the run of Tom Logan. Multiple leads coming at him. Ebert one of those. Ball pitches just in front of him. Shadowed by Leo Barry, who had his number when they played back in round 2. And here's Brendan Lay, giving Lewis Roberts-Thompson something to think about as well. Motlop runs to the pocket. Got good separation. The pass just lets him down, though, after he'd got away from Matner.
And, John, you just talked about the separation. Well, Marty Matner's got that job. I do not like that. I mean, Marty Matner likes to run the lines, rebound off halfback. Dangerous matchup on Ebert.
Brogan going nowhere. So too Brett Kirk, taken down in a strong tackle. Dean Margetts, Brett Roseberry, Shane McInerney, our umpires. And there you see the Port Adelaide bench. Surgeon Boak, Roden and Robbie Gray.
Well, we got the Chaplin and O'Keefe match-up right on the half-forward line for Sydney. Big job for Troy Chaplin this afternoon.
Loose ball, Pearce lurking, trying to win a free kick, unable to do so. Motlop, can he produce some magic? Scurried over the line by Craig Bolton.
Port side are going into a zone now. And they've got 3 players in defence who are right along the centre circle. So they're pushing up like a Hawthorn roving zone. What they want to try and do here is get the Sydney Swans to kick deep into the pocket and then try and hem them in on that side of the ground. And here's the pressure now.
Roberts-Thompson undecided, works it out to the half-back flank, was looking for Goodes. It's knocked away by Kane Corns.
Yeah, spot on, Shorey. That's exactly what happened. That's a win for Port Adelaide. They haven't been able to get the ball outside of their defensive 50, Sydney, and that is a good setup in their zone. It's whether they can do it all day.
Laid, nice tap. Cassisi had to retrieve it after mishandling it initially. Pearce working hard. Now we'll have umpire Brett Roseberry. The accountant will come in on the bench for Sydney. Now Chesky, Everett, Bird and Schmidt, who comes in for his first game of 2008. Cassisi under pressure from Jude Bolton, who gives away a free kick.
They're pushing numbers back here, Sydney.
Michael Wilson, first kick since the prelim final of last year, to the hot spot, and it's out of bounds.
Leo Barry's going with Ebert too, so a height factor there, but again at ground level Ebert would have the advantage. So Motlop and Ebert against their opponents are going to be better at ground level, no doubt.
Multiple ruckman, another whistle going the way of the Sydney Swans. Free kick to Adam Goods.
We'll take a real close note today of Port Adelaide's work at the stoppages. As I said in the pre-game, I reckon they would have had their... Have a look at a bit of holding there. Their ears scrubbed off by the coach for their 12-3. They were beaten, well, they got direct goals Hawthorn last week from stoppages.
This is McVeigh on the eastern wing of Amy Stadium. Undecided, not a lot on offer. Wanted Jared Moore over the top and gave him nothing to work with. Westhoff dragged to the ground. Stalemate and will need another bounce.
Again, they played that zone, sure, didn't they? They're just going to sit off and make them try and take them on and get around them. It's difficult to do sometimes unless you've got real leg speed.
Brogan against Jolly. Jolly's had the better of it so far. Sydney going forward again. O'Loughlin against Pettigrew. Now Ryan O'Keefe celebrating game number 150. Escorts it over the line.
No blocking, boys. Free run the footy.
There's the free to Goods. Kane Corns getting a little physical. Brogan and Jolly wrestle to a stalemate again. Quick kick out of there by Wilson, who's been prominent in his first game of the season. Kieran Jack taken down strongly. Fans want a holding the ball decision. They're not going to get it.
Well, he did drop at the knees again. The umpires are going to watch that. In the end, it's not a bad decision, but if they hold the ball underneath, let's see what happens here. No doubt drop to the knees. So if that's held in, that should be holding the ball.
He dragged it back in as well.
Oh,
Jolly goes off the ground. McVeigh to Jared Moore. Good acceleration. Now sets it up for the Sydney Swans. Out comes O'Loughlin. Couldn't take the mark. Pettigrew with the support of Chaplin. Now Thurston's with some work to do. Going backwards. Bevan works onto the loose ball, gets the kick underway, and Sydney have the first of the afternoon.
Well, good goal by the Swans. And again, I love their work in the contested situation. They just get to do the little things well, Sydney. And you look there, the pressure they put on the tackle of O'Loughlin's a beauty. Absolute beauty. That's forced the turnover. And Bevan, who's working pretty well at the moment off Peter Burgoyne.
yep.
And that's a win when he's playing a defensive role on a player like Peter Burgoyne. If you can get forward and kick a couple of goals, or a goal or two, I mean, you're actually doing your job.
Well, Paul Bevan doesn't kick a lot of goals, just 4 this season, 3 last season, but he is extremely accurate. 17 goals, 5 in his career at 80% and above for Bevan. If he gets a look at them, invariably he comes up with the goods.
Speaking of who?
Goods.
The goods.
On cue. 7.5 minutes played, term number 1. O'Keefe comes out. Port Adelaide with Chaplin overrunning it. O'Keefe
loose it forward here.
looks for O'Loughlin running into space, and Sydney have made a great start. O'Loughlin wants to play on. Amon Buchanan wasn't on the same wavelength. Pettigrew gets a quick kick away, but O'Loughlin looking to redeem himself. One way, back the other. Handball over the top. Buchanan, known goal kicker, swings around, makes no mistake.
Well, if you want to kick a goal a hard way, just get the vision of that stanza of play. I don't know what Michael O'Loughlin was thinking, just totally unselfish here. You can see Buchanan there running past. He thought, oh, well, I'll give a handball while he was in. He wasn't even watching. He thought O'Loughlin was going to have a shot at goal. Look at this for skill. 1, 2, and his man goes to the ground. That's Logan. Over the top. Good handball in one way because he had to give it, but the left footer on that side really suited. Unbelievable goal.
Well, O'Loughlin turning provider here. Buchanan gets the goal. The Swans kick 2 in a minute. They lead by 12 points. Buchanan's never kicked more than 2 goals in a single game in his career. He's off to an early start here. Chad Corns will look to clear for Port Adelaide. Wasn't his best effort. Motlop didn't get down low enough. Matner comes out. Treadray a presence. Forced the error. Chad Corns again, and the Swans go off the ground and out of bounds, courtesy of Jared McVeigh.
That was their first clearance out of the centre, so it was 2 zip before that last centre bounce. And it's an area that is so important in this game, especially against the Sydney Swans, because they have great stoppage players as well. But Port, when they're on song, have got players capable of really setting up some play from the stoppages, so they need to get the likes of Corns and Peter Burgoyne involved.
This is Salopek edging them forward to find Ebert.
Now, this is a bit of an issue. I said about those matchups. Ebert on Leo Barry, who likes playing on a bigger player so he can rebound off. Ebert might have too many tricks in how to lead in the space. Good clearance work here. Salopek has been in fairly good form. A bit quieter last week. And normally a beautiful kick for goal.
He kicked 56 goals last season to lead Port Adelaide and finished top 10 in the AFL. Is back to form. That one hangs in the air just a little. They'll contest in the goal square. It may have gone through.
Well, that's unbelievable. 8 blokes standing on the goal line, and it wobbles through at touchable height. Terrific play by Salopek. That was a great hit up to Ebert. And it's actually good composure by Stephen Salopek there. He could have blazed away. There were plenty of numbers back for Sydney. Not happy, Leo Barry.
And we've got a blood rule too. It looks like Roberts-Thompson is coming off the ground then. As I said, Brett Ebert, a beautiful kick for goal, but there's no doubt Roberts-Thompson has come off with the blood rule. He's on the bench right now.
And boys, I don't want to harp on it, but the Sydney Swans have got 6 on the bench at the moment, so they're just mucking up their interchange. I know we've been spoken about it a lot, but yeah, they're just mucking it up here.
Well, they're up for 30,000K if they get it wrong. It's no surprise that they're being circumspect at the moment.
They've got 6-5 still off the ground, and the ball's come into play. Melcheski's trying to run position.
They're one short.
Yeah, they've still got 5 on the bench, boys.
Unbelievable.
Treadray to target, reaches over the back, takes a good mark over Ted Richards.
The bloke that's actually hasn't got an opponent, it's got to get dangerous.
Treadray undecided. Now from 55 to the goal front, way off target. And that's out of bounds on the full.
Now, that's a poor kick. You've got to try and know your limitations, and to the top of the square, put some pressure on it, especially now. And it looks like Everett's on, so I think it's pretty even now, Rowan.
Yeah, Spider Everett's just come on. He's got a little bit of a mismatch with Salopek, so look for him maybe to go a little bit forward.
It might be a ploy by Paul Roos.
Leo Barry plays on, brings it out. Good job by Craig Bolton. And now Kieran Jack, with Ebert about to track him down. Gets his kick away in time, though, for O'Keefe. Goal side of his opponent. Did a good job against Chaplin. Will not be on him, Ryan O'Keefe. 23 goals last season, top 5 for the Sydney Swans. And Chaplin just caught out of position.
Used his body well then.
Yeah, he hasn't had the kicking boots on this year, though, John.
That's true. He kicked 3 points against Port Adelaide in round 2. Celebrating his 150th AFL appearance. Ryan O'Keefe, 2 goals, 2 last week. Likes the look of it off the boot, makes no mistake.
Well, we talked about him before the game. One of the hardest matchups in league football at the moment. And this Kieran Jack, who's got a penetrating left foot kick. And you can just see here, Chaplin underneath, you do not want to be there. If you've misread the play, you want to have some very good body strength to get back. That's not Troy Chaplin's strength. And, well, just a great use of the body. Ooh, maybe took a step towards goal to play on. But he hasn't kicked straight this year, but that was a beautiful finish. They're out and about, Sydney Swans. Got to try and match them, Port Adelaide at contested areas.
Ryan O'Keefe started his career in the number 39 jumper for Sydney. All Australian. And Sydney with a 2-goal lead. We played 13.5 minutes, term number 1. Sydney looked to clear again. Traking back. Nice mark from Salopek. Brings it out wide. Boak in traffic. Oh, eludes them all. Plenty of space to run into. Goes to Treadray. Treadray looks up. Lead into the pocket. Good mark taken here by Robbie Gray. He wants to go quickly for Westhoff.
Like the way they did that, Port Adelaide, they were honouring the leads, hitting up the short targets. What it does, it actually promotes run inside your forward 50 when you're hitting up those players. And it was a good kick by Gray, it was a good kick by Treadray to Gray and Westhoff. I know it's a difficult kick, but really needs to answer that goal from O'Keefe. I might even dish it off here to Daniel Motlop, just
Gee, I nearly would.
hanging around. Just
Right there, right next to him on the left.
5 goals, 8 this season and 1 goal, 3 last week. Doesn't instill a lot of confidence, and Westhoff lives up to the rap.
I think I would have given it to him. But he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Now, again, we know that Justin's not a great kick at most of the time. He's got a long way to drop the ball down because he's 6'8", but in the old. But Motlop was right there.
Alcheski, the bionic backman, didn't get enough on the kick, but Matner cleans up for him. Good body work there from Carlisle as he escorts it over the line.
I still believe that when the ball goes in the Port Adelaide's forward line, they look very, very dangerous.
Look at that wider shot there, and you see all the numbers getting to this contest. They were all inside the forward 50 there for Port last time they went in.
Ablett shut down and a strong tackle by Travis Boak holding the ball. There's Sean Burgoyne missing a game for the first time in 3 years, and they'll miss his 38 disposals and 8 clearances that he came up with last week.
Gee, that was a good kick.
For Treadwell.
He's moving well too, Warren. We talked about his athleticism last week.
Well, he's kicked more goals at Amy Stadium than any other player, but he hands over here to Brendan Lade, who unloads from 60, and the ruckman seals the deal.
Well, know your limitations. We talk about Westhoff to Motlop, but on this occasion, we see Treadray hit the ball well, and he has lost a lot of penetration in his kicking through those knee injuries. And Brendan Lade, there he is. That is brilliant play. That is a footballer who knows his spot within the group and his abilities, and that comes from a lot of experience. And now he's got a teammate who loves to kick a goal from a long way out. Well done to both players.
Brendan Lade is another who's suffered in terms of goal-kicking accuracy this season. Just 4 goals, 8 coming into today. Generally a very reliable conveyance, as we saw just there from good range. Everett against Brogan. Brogan comes again. Found plenty of room to operate in as well. A short kick for Travis Boak. Playing on quickly. Driving Port Adelaide deep. A little indiscriminate with the pass. Motlop has 2 to beat. Trying to draw a free kick under all that, Leo Barrett. Let's go to Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, 2 of the Port Adelaide's ball magnets in Kane Corns and Peter Burgoyne have not had a touch yet, boys. So Kane Corns has matched up against Goods, and Bevan doing a good job on Peter Burgoyne.
Craig Bolton looking for Goods, aided by the bounce. Now O'Keefe did that well again, got away from Chaplin. McVeigh's naked in the forward line, hits him on the chest.
Terrific running by McVeigh to get on the end of that. Wonderful play by the Swans to transfer a play. And hard running. They're a hard running team again. O'Keefe involved. I thought when he bounced it, he might have missed McVeigh, but he actually looked up at the right time and found him loose. And he's become a very important player in this team. McVeigh, he's become an absolute beauty for the Swans.
8 goals for this season. Has scored in 6 of the 8 games in 2008. Very deliberate as he approaches, and he likes it off the boot. Sydney extend their lead.
Well, I still believe the Port Adelaide have got some dangerous forwards, but what's happening in the midfield, that is where the Swans are getting away from their opponents. Their clearances are cleaner. Once they come through the forward 50, O'Keefe's become a real problem. They might have to look at a match-up change on him because he is just out there at the moment. And McVeigh, good little play. He's been a very important player, as Liam Pickering said, because he can play a negating role, goes in the midfield, and, as we said, loves to have a shot at goal.
Missed out on the Swans premiership team in 2005. Jared McVeigh. It hasn't missed a game in the last 2.5 seasons.
Just to further illustrate what Rowan Smith said before, I mean, we've played 18.5 minutes of footy, and 2 of their best ball winners, Shorey, haven't touched the footy yet. Peter Burgoyne and Corns, which is what Rowan Smith said. You do need those players. They're so crucial to Port Adelaide. They need to get them involved in the game. So Goods has actually had it 4 times. He's playing pretty well. Kane Corn needs to lift a bit.
Quick kick from Buchanan. Not a lot of distance, though. The same pack tracks it down. A mistake with the hands there by Surgeon, and he's good enough to clean up. Chad Corns to Peter Burgoyne. Elusive, as usual. Back to Corns. Boak. Kane Corns. Boak needs to get up quickly and does. Down low. Motlop couldn't take the mark. Lay, like a rover. Scooped it up with exceptional skills. Chad Corns works onto the ball. around the body and deep, and the mark has been taken down there by Ebert.
Now, left foot, just pull around, pretty easy. Oh, he's just snuck it in.
Gets the 6 points.
Yeah, it was actually terrific play. The handball by Adelaide, the releasing handball to Corns was an absolute beauty. And look at this, for a big man, he did a bit of a blind turn and then fed it through, nearly through it, but fed it through traffic. You know, I'm not sure that was a great option from Chad Corns. He should have probably kicked the drop punt instead of trying to screw it around from 50, but Ebert was in the right spot and did the right thing too, Ebert. He didn't go back and he got on with it, the job pretty quickly onto his left side, and they love those guys, the left footers.
Ebert gets his second goal. Multiple goal kicker now in 4 of his last 5 games after a slow start to the season when he kicked 3 in the first 3 games.
Now we can just see there's Chad Corns and there's that glove on the right hand. I probably think he's got it strapped. Well, he's got the 2 fingers strapped outside the glove, which is pretty hard. I watched him just before. He didn't tackle with that hand, so you won't see him doing that very often.
Ball scurries out at the centre square. Ablett ducks his head, taken by his fellow number 20. Goods did a good job. Now with Jude Bolton in support. Slips to his feet. Time to recover, though. Quick kick coming out of there by Craig Bird.
Oh, well done, Bevan. That was terrific, Mark.
55 metres out. Works to the goal front. Playfair is there. So too Jared Moore. Swung toward goal and comes up with a finish.
2 really special bits of play there. The Bevan mark across half forward. Peter Burgoyne didn't even lay a glove on him in the finish. Great work by Playfair to get it down to a dangerous area. And Moore, I talked about his endurance, but his body strength. He's a typical little Sydney player, the Buchanan type. Very powerful through the legs. And he was able to hold up on the tackle. He'll be really disappointed with that tackle, Jacob Surgeon, because he really needed to finish that off instead of trying to sling him. Just dispossessed, that's all, but that's a wonderful goal to Moore.
I don't know what Peter Burgoyne was thinking, though. Half-back flank, he was flat-footed. He had to take the space, either use your hips or your body, but he had to keep his player under the ball. And you're right, Bevan showed enormous courage to come back and keep that ball alive for the Swans.
22 minutes played, term number 1. 8 goals have been kicked, 5 by Sydney, who enjoy a 12-point lead.
Doing a terrific job at the moment, Bevan.
Tell you the other one, Michael Wilson's playing on Brett Kirk. They're trying to get that matchup.
Jolly up high. Tap not to good effect, and we'll need a restart.
If you're Michael Wilson, your first game for the year, you've got Brett Kirk hanging all over you all day. Another great way to come back into AFL footy.
What's happening? Kane Corns is trying to go with Goods. Goods a number of times has gone to Chad Corns, so they've got a merry-go-round going on ball at the moment.
Jolly strength again, impressive, and a free kick to aim on Buchanan. Sydney off and running through Luke Ablett, and he's kicked to a nest of Port players. Peter Burgoyne. His first kick of the day, and we've played 23 minutes now. Boat takes the mark.
Pretty impressive, Travis Boat. It's his 6th touch coming up.
Most in the game. Undecided, though. Looks to go short. Poor pass picked off by Brett Kirk. Buchanan has numbers inside. Held on to it a little too long. Now he's got problems. Needs support. Comes out the back to Kieran Jack. He's off quickly. Jude Bolton back to Kieran Jack. Smothered by Chad Corns. Aggressive work, but too aggressive. He gives away the free kick.
Great smother. Still again, I don't know whether he used that hand. It might have been the other one.
Bolton for the lead of O'Keefe. It's going to drop short, but O'Keefe is good enough to get there.
Got to change this matchup. It might be Pettigrew might have to go to him, although then you get the Danish O'Loughlin out. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
He even pulled the hand away and used the opposite hand.
Well,
this is a problem, though, Liam.
Yeah, it is. I don't think Chaplin's certainly not playing on him at the moment. Started on him, definitely.
What about Surgeon? He wouldn't be able to go in the air, but he could go with him running, maybe.
I think it has to be Chaplin or Carlisle.
Sure.
O'Keefe comes in looking for his second. Umpire doesn't move. Sydney lead by 18 points.
Very dangerous team when they're in this mood, Sydney. We saw it last time they played against Port Adelaide. Just one almost too big for Logan. They're just so strong. 2 goals for O'Keefe. A very good start to the game. Tell you what, you can just tell when Sydney are in this sort of mood. And Port need to be able to match it with them. And they need to be able to get something out of the last 5 minutes of this quarter.
They've made a change. It looks like Logan's gone to him.
Sydney's highest scoring first quarter of the year, 6 goals 2 against Port Adelaide, round 2. They have 6-1 at the moment and a game high 18-point advantage, less than 6 minutes out from quarter time.
Hey, boys! Red, let's get up, Michael. No, thank you.
Now look at this smother here. I think this is the one. Chad with the smother. Oh, he's pulled the hand out of the way. Look, he's a champion player, but it's going to be a hard day at the office when you only got one hand.
The Corns brothers combine. Now Surgeon dispossessed by Moore, who was strong at it again and has come off second best. Jared Moore hasn't moved. Port Adelaide go forward and they get a much-needed goal.
Little Robbie Gray, as we see Jared Moore picking himself up. He went hard after that footy, got one in the head, but that's what I love about Robbie Gray. He knows where the goals are. Now we have a look at this. Ooh, nice, both players.
Yep.
Wilbur Wilson going through. There's nothing better than to crash into a body at some stage. This is great crumbing. Great crumbing by Robbie Gray. That's what a good forward does. He gets in the right spot. And he's been a dangerous player since he's come into this Port Adelaide side. And he knows where the sticks are. As we see Jared Moore now coming off the ground.
Well, Robbie Gray started on the bench. Only a short career so far. This is his 8th game, but he's kicked goals in 6 of those, Liam. He certainly does know where they are.
And Liam, we did say last week we thought Sean Burgon would have got off his head high, and the players come from the ground again.
Oh,
no. We said no last week, remember? And he got 3 weeks.
You're only 3 games out.
Oh, well,
we both got that.
And the coach was with us.
Yeah, well, we had a good chat with him before the game.
Matter of fact, we said we're going to pay $5,000 each for the fight. Well, Liam anyway, he's got more money.
Still more than 5 minutes to play in an enterprising first term as Kirk gets the ball going forward for Sydney. This is Tim Schmidt in his first game of the season.
That's if it's held in, it's holding the ball. Gee, that's a variation on the rule, isn't it, from what happened the first minute of the game.
Another centre square clearance to Sydney. That's where the game was won last week by Hawthorn, in the centre square.
Brogan works to the front. Sydney get the momentum. Goods wheeling around. O'Loughlin lurking. Couldn't take the mark under pressure from Pettigrew. Here's Peter Burgoyne. That looked like a throw. Logan, Kirk, quick kick out of the congestion. Could be a goal. It is.
Well, Kirk, there was a few bodies around that contest. And we heard a groan just before. I thought it might have been the umpire, and that was a throw by Peter Burgoyne. Should have been a shot at goal anyway. But here's Brett Kirk. He's been, Wilson's had the job on him when he has been on the ground. He's just come up about a couple of minutes ago, and he would love that. Not a renowned goal kicker, but gee, he just racks up possession, and he's a sensational leader at this club. Matter of fact, I just think he's gone to a new level as a leader. That's saying something.
Sydney with their best ever first quarter against Port Adelaide, 7-1. Remembering they're coming off their highest score and biggest win against Port Adelaide earlier this year in round 2. Brogan goes down, Jolly likewise. Pearce dragging Kieran Jack forward and then getting the ball as well.
That's a mark.
Dreadray takes it.
That is a mark. Daniel Motlop has kicked the ball off the ground when his opponent was nearly holding him, or he was holding him, and it's gone straight to Dreadray. Sensational play by Daniel Motlop.
Well, he can come up with the impossible.
Everybody stop. Let's have a look. Pearce kicks it forward. Motlop just there. He didn't mean that.
No, I don't think so. I think he meant to kick it.
Keep it alive. Yeah. That's what he meant to do.
Not sure it went the required 15 metres.
Look at this. No, it was the opposite, but he tried to do it, and it came off Bolton's foot.
It went about 8 metres, didn't it?
Yeah, just the Indigenous boys, we just give them too much credit for the magic sometimes.
You might be right there. He needs to kick this goal, Treadrate.
Well, he kicked 4 straight last week and has kicked more goals here at Amy than any other player. And the umpire doesn't have to move.
clever play. Fraction lucky, but a great finish all the same. And again, a clearance. I'm going to talk about this all day because that's where the game's going to be won and lost, is the centre square and the efficiency out of the centre square. Well, as I say, it came off Craig Bolt's foot, so they both went to kick it on, and it was a really important finish for Warren Treadway. It's been a ripping first quarter, but they couldn't lose touch with the Swans. They did that up in Sydney, and they blew them away in the space of a quarter.
Goal number 267 at Amy Stadium for Warren Treadway. When you consider the Crows had a 6-year start on Port Adelaide, shows you how dominant he has been here in front of the home faithful, that he has kicked more at this ground than anyone else. Peter Burgoyne couldn't reel it in. Brogan giving away a free kick, as he has a habit of doing. Kirk. Inside the last 4 minutes, term number 1. That looked like 50 metres against Brett Ebert, an obvious one. Well, we saw Matthew Scarlett do something similar on Friday Night Football. Ebert must have been confused.
Well, it's a brain fade, that's what it is, and a costly one if he kicks this goal. Not a noted goal kicker.
Well, Craig Bolton now, he started on Justin Westhoff. He has gone to Daniel Motlop. So Paul Roos, well done. He's made a few changes. Their matchups weren't great early.
Bolton hasn't kicked a goal since round 10 last year. He's got good money here, though, and Sydney have kicked 8.
Well, where is the shutdown style of play with Sydney Swans? I love them playing this way. I think that they can do this a lot more in football, but you've got to give Paul Roos credit. And what happened here? Brett Ebert didn't hear the play on. He thought the player went off the mark. You just got to wait for the whistle. That's a 50-metre penalty, which really hurts. And I'll just say it again, Liam, I love the Sydney Swans. I think they can play this style of footy. If they win the contested ball, why not play attacking, fast-running football?
Well, Sydney's highest ever scoring first quarter, 10 goals, 8, when it was South Melbourne back in 1934. It's in some danger here, still with 3.5 minutes to play.
I think Bob Pratt was playing then. 1934. Well,
that's what we're shaping here. Well, Malcheski taken out solidly. A tangle of arms and legs, and finally umpire Brett Roseberry will come in. Kieran Jack looks on. 4 disposals for him. Boat punches it out of the air with the play on call. Kasisi, first man to arrive. Boat riding shotgun, but he looks longer than that, to a 2-on-1, and Malcheski takes the mark. Poor pass from Malcheski, though, has given it over to Port Adelaide's Brett Ebert.
I said earlier I thought that the Port Adelaide forward line was looking dangerous. Well, you know, Sydney's kicked 8, so there is an issue up the other end. But Malcheski on that occasion, normally a beautiful kick, just centred the ball, and that hurts. Brett Ebert, he owes the club this one.
Been out of footy a long time, but you're certainly right. Brett Ebert needs to finish here.
3 goals last week, Brett Ebert. He's kicked 3 in the first quarter here for Port Adelaide.
He's been a busy little player in this first quarter. Even take away his 50-metre that he just gave away to Bolton. But the Malcheski, as I say, have been out of footy a long time. We know that. Just a couple of steps, and I get what he's trying to do, but when you've got a zone that they've got set up at the moment, Port Adelaide, any turnover inside 50 is just going to cost you big time. And Ebert is one player that when he's got his radar on early, he very rarely misses.
I still don't believe Leo Barry's a good matchup for him. He just missed him in the sideways movement.
Well, highly entertaining first quarter from Amy Stadium. We've had 14 goals kicked, and 18 points has been the biggest margin that Sydney have eked out. As Brogan climbs high. Still more than 2 minutes to play. And Jared McVeigh has the Swans inside their attacking 50. Logan couldn't take the mark. O'Keefe lurking.
Great tackle.
Holding the ball. Pettigrew. Looping hand pass. Invited Kirk into the contest, and he was always willing. Kasisi with some work to do. Dispossessed. Well, they are a hungry team, Sydney. Combined 14 goals too. Start this game as Thurston's third man up slaps it to the advantage of Chad Corns. Quick kick around the corner. Treadray couldn't take the mark. Matner onto the left boot. Sliding across the half-forward line. Alapati Carlisle with a fist on it. Bevan put his head down. Wanted a free kick. Couldn't get one. He's given one away. He's holding the ball.
Great decision. And you call it, Johnny. Well done. Fantastic call because he just tried to bar through with his head. No player can stop that being a head-high tackle. In the end, I got over the top, but I think the umpire paid the right decision there.
Surgeon.
This is what they need.
Kick over the top.
Bit of run from behind, Port Adelaide.
Salopek. Now Ebert.
Oh, need a match-up change here. Leo Barry just cannot go with Brett Ebert.
Treadray leads into the pocket. Plays on. Got away from Ted Richards. Handball to Roden, about to be shut down. Great tackle from Bevan. Great. Appeared to be taken high. No free kick forthcoming for Port Adelaide. And Sydney looked to clear, but not convincingly at the moment.
Well done.
Surgeon, hard at it. Pinned on the boundary line, brings it back, but it's all Sydney. Lewis Roberts-Thompson takes the mark. 30 seconds to play, term number 1.
Yeah, the runner will be out there now just saying, right, let's just milk this down to quarter time. We're happy with a couple of goal lead in the first quarter. Coming away and playing at Amy. They'll be very happy with this result, the Swans.
Well, they kicked 8 goals in the first quarter. They didn't kick that in a number of games a lot of times when they play that defensive mindset.
Remembering they kicked 6 in round 1 against St Kilda for the entire game. Here's Ablett flying against Chad Corns right on the siren. Brogan giving Peter Everett something to go on with as well. This could get a little out of hand knowing the history of these two. But Sydney, well, they have started on fire. A very entertaining first term from Amy Stadium concludes 14 goals and the Swans lead it by 12 points. Well, Dean Brogan, Brendan Lane have got more taps between them than any other ruck tandem in the AFL. But Jolly and Everett, well, they might be the best tandem at the moment. Here's Kasisi. Dropped the ball, just wasn't clean with his hands, and that forces the turnover. Port get it back, though. Kasisi once more. Handball over the top. Salopek. Now Daniel Pearce measures the kick. Collision coming. Roden and Ebert. Ebert stays down. Robbie Gray, the elusive one, runs onto it, but couldn't bring it back far enough.
Gee, he normally swallows those. Robbie Gray, collision at half forward. Now, would you say, well, I think David Roden had every right to go for the mark. Normally you'd want to call your teammate back, but I don't think he was ever going to mark the ball there. You do need your protection of your eyes from behind, but I reckon it was a kick to Roden anyway. Good to see him back up on his feet, because he kicked 3 first quarter goals. Pretty important.
Lade takes a good mark. Now looks into the forward pocket. Gray found some separation again. Now he's got 2 to beat. Held onto it for a long time.
It was a good decision. He did a 360 then. Whilst he never really impeded him, he had him long enough to say that, well, you had 3 or 4 options to dish that off. Unlucky to be pinged, but I reckon it was a free. I reckon it was right.
I'd like to see you on the dance floor. What, you haven't done a 360 quicker than what that for holding the ball?
You don't want to see me on the tiles, my friend.
Roberts-Thompson hits the ball forward, and it's out of bounds.
Yeah, let's have a look. Hold on. And I think we've seen Nillywood. Oh, come on.
One option there. One option there. No, you're spot on.
Thanks.
No, I apologise.
It was like you pirouetting on the dance floor.
I apologise for that. No, he wasn't a free kick. I reckon he was a bit stiff.
I think the ball came away from his body a little bit just for 1 second there.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought he had the first give, and I thought it was a great decision. But
he's a dangerous player, dangerous forward.
Should have kicked that first goal of the quarter, really.
Lade wins the tap, but it went to space. Kane Corns looking for Peter Burgoyne. Good tackle from Kieran Jack, showing his father's qualities. Kirk, elusive again. Ablett off a step. Chaplin goes back. Playfair there for the Sydney Swans. Now O'Loughlin. They've got loose numbers in their forward line.
Jolly's the long option.
Jared Moore finds Playfair. Cross ground to the open man. Mark taken by Jude Bolton. He wants the short pass as well. Buchanan.
Tell you, there's 2 players who had the ball then. Playfair and also Jude Bolton, who knew they couldn't go the distance from where they were.
But you mentioned it earlier, Shaw. It's about knowing your capabilities, knowing what you're capable of doing. And good square up from Playfair. He's become pretty important in the few games he's been playing.
48 metres out, Jude Bolton said, I couldn't kick it from here, so I've got to find the crowd. Well done.
Great running by Buchanan too.
Goal kicker on the run in the first quarter from a set shot. That looks good as well. He's equalled his career high of 2 in a game.
What I love about guys like Buchanan, we mentioned about Jared Moore earlier, is their work rate inside forward 50. Now, we're not going to see it from here, but at this stage, Buchanan is on this side of the ground. Now, he then pushes as hard as he can into space on the other side through the goal square and pushes up to be the option. And left surgeon only a metre or two behind, but the work rate of Buchanan then was sensational. And that's what they're so well drilled, the Sydney Swans. Their forward line knows exactly what's required of each of them.
Sydney draw first blood here, term number 2. Margin out to 17 points. They've led exclusively. And when Jared Moore hit the post with the first score of the game. And here is Jared Moore rushing into traffic. Kasisi with a solid tackle. And that's holding the ball.
I'm trying to pick up where Jared Moore, the way that he hit the centre bounce there, he's playing on Toby Thurston. He will destroy Toby Thurston's at ground level. So both sides have got match-up problems in their forward line.
Peter Burgoyne retreating against multiple would-be tacklers. There's no one behind him on the ground. Short kick.
He did that well.
Finds Salopek. Plays on quickly. Gray was the target, but with courage, Lewis Roberts-Thompson goes back. Matner. Handball over the top. McVeigh. Time to measure the kick. Wobbles one forward. Pettigrew spills the mark. Kasisi cleans up for him. Set Chaplin a task. In game number 50, he eases the situation out to Stephen Salopek. Kick over the top. This is Pearce.
He's taking him on.
Wants to take Jolly on. Ran a long way. Good shepherd provided by Surgeon, and the mark taken by Roden. Roden looks deep. Treadray the target. 2 to beat. Couldn't take the mark. Still with the ball though. Wheeling and dealing, gets a handball away. Brogan couldn't get it down quickly enough, and Matner is there for Sydney. Clearing kick is a good one. Jolly. Centres the ball.
On the transition here, John. O'Keefe's pushed forward.
McVeigh finds O'Keefe. O'Loughlin deep, has got goal side of Pettigrew, now makes the lead into the pocket. O'Keefe, usually a good user, never better than them.
Beautiful.
Now, Pettigrew is actually yelling at his teammates for no support, but at no stage when that happened, and they got him on the transition, did he actually ever put an arm across Mick O'Loughlin? So when he wasn't the long option because Corns was pushing off, see, he's not happy there, Pettigrew, but I'm sorry, you've got to put your arm across. You've got to at least feel somebody. O'Loughlin went one way, back, forward, bang, into some space.
Kicked 6 without a miss last week in the big win against the Bombers to equal his career high. Sydney's leading goal kicker this year, but slides across the face. It's a minor score.
Get the footy, mate.
You can hear the umpire there. There's 2 footballs in the arena.
Hands over. Salopek restarts as we go to Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, Shorey, you've got your wish with Ryan O'Keefe. There's a change on him. Tom Logan's got the run with roll with him now.
Port Adelaide on the eastern wing of Amy Stadium. Brogan takes the mark. No. It's given away a free kick in the process. Roberts-Thompson takes the kick.
Oh. I don't think that was in the back. It was nearly in the armpit.
Talk about efficiency. Sydney have been inside 50 13 times to 18. So 13 times for the game, Sydney, for 9 goals, 2.
Great return.
It's a fantastic return, no doubt. And for all their ball use at the moment, Port, they're just not using the ball as well as the Swans.
Well,
Roberts-Thompson under pressure. Motlop went off the ground. Brogan does the percentage play. Kasisi balks one tackle. Handball's out. Daniel Motlop, dangerous in this situation, can't convert.
I don't mind Daniel Motlop sometimes. You know, he kicks the ball off the ground a lot, but sometimes you just got to put your head over the ball, play percentages. That time he tried to kick it off and it didn't come off the right angle. Ricocheted off the Sydney Swans. He got it back, but gee, just put your head over the ball sometimes, son, and play it the hard way.
Pinpoint accuracy from Matner to find Craig Bolton. Centimetres above David Roden. Would Adelaide go man on man? Bolton, not a lot to kick to. Put Leo Barry under pressure. Handball to Bevan. He's got problems. Leo Barry just backed into the tackle. Looks like holding the ball. No. According to umpire Shane McInerney.
He tackled too well.
Yeah, no, sure, that's prior opportunity, I'm sorry. He braced himself to take the bump, to take the tackle in. As far as I'm concerned, that's prior opportunity.
Everett wins the tap. Luke Ablett with a quick clearing kick. Pearce tracking it back. Couldn't take the mark. Good battle between he and Kieran Jack. Let's go to Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, Brett Ebert, just from that collision before early in the quarter, he's just feeling the effects of that. He's been speaking to the doctor. He's just having a rest on the interchange bench. Looks good and should be back on soon.
Brogan ducks his head.
Well done, Brogan.
Drives it forward. Coming out Treadray. Couldn't take the mark, but found it on the ground. Works around the body. Port Adelaide get the goal.
This is a new Warren Treadray. What about the athleticism there? It's been missing for a few years, and I said well done Brogan in the call because he kept the ball live. He spoilt it in a second effort, and just to pick the ball up. But we haven't seen that for a number of years because of his knee injuries. We saw a bit of it last week when he kicked 3 in the first quarter. But that's a strong body. Ted Richards just didn't have the same recovery. Good signs for Warren Treadray.
Well, Treadray's kicked goals in 8 of his 9 games this season. His 88th game as captain, most capped captain for Port Adelaide.
The beauty of Treadray then is he just didn't go to ground, sure, even with all those bodies around him.
Lade won the tap to Peter Burgoyne, but his hands were disappointing, and now he's coughed it up. Although he's won a free kick, according to umpire Dean Margetts. Lade with runners. Pearce. 2 bounces, now into the pocket.
Oh, kick.
Nice mark as well from Westhoff.
Now, even the Swans, they have thrown around a few. Leo Barry's gone to Westhoff, which he had a problem with Ebert. Be nice to just swap Ebert and Westhoff all day on Leo Barry to get the tall small. He'd have to change his game plan very quickly. But well done to Daniel Pearce. Started the year slowly. Just come into the last 2 to 3 games.
Made his debut round 10 last year and has now played 25 consecutive games, Westhoff. Goal kicker in 5 games this year. They've all been singles. Couldn't get enough on it there, and a free kick going to Sydney.
Just some of their better players getting into the game. You mentioned Pearce. Cassisi's had plenty of it. Celebec is having a very good year. Peter Burgoyne now up to 8 possessions. We talked about him not having a touch in the first 20 minutes. He'll just work this through.
Yeah, give a point.
This is really good play by Port Adelaide. They've started this second quarter with some real intent after the early Buchanan goal, and you can just feel the pressure coming. It's building on the Swans now.
I'll tell you what's good play. This zone is exactly the zone they used against Hawthorn, and they gave them some of their own back in the first quarter last week. And it worked pretty well even the next couple of quarters, and then, of course, they got on top. But if they can control this kick-in, it helps a bit when you kick the point.
Jude Bolton gets it from Ted Richards. Looking for distance with the kick. Having to go back with the flight of the ball is Malcheski, and Logan best position to Chad Corns. Now Salopek off a step.
Didn't see Jolly.
No.
Jolly came on, too tall for Ebert, tapped it to the advantage of Leo Barry, who shrugs one tackle. O'Loughlin goal side of his opponent again, and they head to him now. Defenders getting back. O'Loughlin couldn't take the mark, and Salopek happy to escort it over.
Yeah, Port will be happy with that. They didn't see Jolly on the wing when they kicked the ball out from the half-back flank.
Roden, Motlop preparing to come on. We played 12 and a half minutes, term number 2. Port Adelaide
Clearance.
looking to run it out. Kane Corns. Just his 6th disposal, finds Westhoff, who brings it inboard. Salopek started this in the back line, gets it to the forward line. Travis Boak measures the kick.
Not long enough.
Didn't kick through it, John. What was he thinking?
Just tried to nurse it.
He tried to just massage it home, as they say. I'm not sure. He's a beautiful long kick. Maybe he didn't see Bolton coming back, but gee, it was good play. A set play at the half-back flank. Chad Corns at the clearance. Banging away they went. For Port Adelaide to win this game and to be really competitive against the best sides, they need that run and carry from half-back.
Bevan looking for Jolly, who takes the mark. Not a lot on offer. Going to hoist it toward the half-forward line. O'Keefe at the back, but Lade cuts across to take a telling mark.
I think it's been asked of Brendan Lade. He's been down on form, and there's no doubt he's having a sensational game so far.
Kane Corns takes it from Thurstons. Looks for Boak. Short kick. Wilson. Disposal number 4.
They're running a bit harder here than the Sydney Swans at the moment.
Roden.
He's going to sell the dummy.
Takes them on. Finds Ebert.
There's that match-up again. Leo Barry cannot go play on Brett Ebert, and Paul Roos needs to find someone else who can do the job. He's just come off the interchange bench. That might have been that Westhoff change. I'm trying to see where Westhoff, he might still be on the ground. No, they've gone with Roberts-Thompson on Westhoff now.
That's the beauty of a guy like David Roden, is he takes you on. And that makes other people run. And their forward line is functioning much better in this second quarter, even though we haven't seen it on the scoreboard yet.
Ebert held goalless when these teams played in round 2, but he's kicked 4 already today.
Well, there's one player in the defensive side for the Sydney Swans, and he's Michael Wilson out the road. Now, when you're on the mark, this had to be forced to the boundary line. You knew he was going to throw Craig. I think it was Bevan on the mark. You've got to make sure you push him out to the boundary line, because coming back in the corridor just cuts you to pieces if you're a defender. I think they've got to put Craig Bolton on, Ebert. Craig Bolton stops all players, tall, small, or whatever it is. Just go with that matchup.
Port Adelaide get back-to-back goals for the first time today. Ebert has 4 to equal his season high. His career high 6 against Melbourne, round 17 last year. 3-point ball game, importantly, after Sydney led by as many as 18 earlier in this term. Ablett, the beneficiary of the free kick, has a loose man. It's Matner. And he did that well to find Jolly.
They broke down at half-back there.
But this is Brendan Lade's man, and when Matner had it on the half-back flank, I was thinking, why would Brendan Lade leave his man, let Matner try and run through the 50 and kick a goal? Easy kick over the top.
Kicked a career-high 3 goals against Essendon last week, but kicked 3 points in that game as well, and that's a minor score.
Brendan Lade might have thought, being a ruckman, it's no worries going to a ruckman.
Thurstons with a quick restart to Kane Corns.
You're right, Liam, they're running hard at the moment.
Boak the target. Marks just inside the boundary line. Well, they've grabbed the momentum, Port Adelaide, but they still trail by 4 points. Logan has Burgoyne running by. Disposal number 9 for Burgoyne.
Wonderful kick.
To find Carlisle.
How good was that?
Salopek, undecided. Good contest from Matner, but Roden shrugs his way through. Matner again, dispossessed. Craig Bird taken down. O'Keefe gets a handball out. Sydney clear the danger area. Bolton, not a lot to kick to. Goes with a hand pass. Wins a free kick for a push in the back against Daniel Motlop.
Yeah, well, Daniel Motlop's been a bit frustrated.
It's going downfield. Henry Playfair's trying to come off the ground. The umpire says, you can go off. You've got to have a kick first, mate. That's a downfield free kick. A handball.
Motlop just 3 disposals so far in the game and 1 point to his name. 22 goals, 8 this season. But a quiet afternoon so far. Port Adelaide with the numbers. Pettigrew takes the mark.
Play it on.
No, he's played the mark.
They can't play on, Kenny.
And then another win for Port Adelaide there when Playfair had the ball. They just pushed the numbers back down the corridor and made them kick it long.
Chad Corns. Disposal number 10. Logan. Not aided by the bounce. Jared Moore overran it. Now they wrestle for possession and we'll have a bounce.
Very, very, very lucky then, Port, that didn't cough up and cost them a goal. Wasn't a great kick by Corns. Did well there, Logan.
Tell you what, Kane Corns is doing the job on Goods, though. Adam Goods, he's had 7 possessions, close to half-time.
And 6 of those in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Shorey.
Look at the dominant hit-outs. Port Adelaide, 21-9.
The fans finding their voice as well as Port Adelaide win the free kick.
Salopek's out on the wing here.
With some space, time to measure the kick. Westhoff. Ebert lurking in the pocket. So too Motlop and Treadray, the captain. Couldn't handle it. 2 bites of the cherry. Overran it. Goods. Just his second possession in this term. We've played 19 minutes. And Buchanan has runners inside. Handball to Kirk was a poor one, though. Daniel Pearce overran it. Bolton knocked down. Here's Jude Bolton. Roden has come up with it against Kirk, one of the best tacklers in the competition.
Oh, great football. Great football.
We could have seen that in the State of Origin the other night. Dave Roden was going the try line there. He willed his way, but I think that probably is an indication of who's working a bit harder at the moment. And to me, it's all Port Adelaide, even though, as I say, the Swans are still leading.
High tackle from Roden goes unwhistled as he drags Bird down. Malchaski went without it. Still in dispute. Matner to Craig Bolton. A hurried kick. Chaplin couldn't take the mark. Jared Moore has support inside. Jude Bolton. Handball out for Spider Everett. Inside the centre square. Multiple options. Good mark to Jolly.
Well, it was hot in the kitchen. It was hot in the kitchen. Some of that just stanza of play around the centre square was just brilliant from both sides. Right thought process. Jude Bolton got involved and they pushed Jolly forward. Thurston's got to do the job on Jolly here. Gee, he's turned into a good player. He's taken, they brought Everett to the club to be #1 ruckman. Doesn't even look like it at the moment.
Sydney kicked 8 goals in the first quarter. This is their second in term number 2.
He has become an important player. It's amazing what opportunity it does for players. There's plenty of those stories around, but they worked it really well against what I feel is the flow of the play at the moment. They were able to will their way through some really hard contested footy back and half back. A good long option. Thurston again, not a body defender really. He's playing off his man and one-on-one. If you haven't got some body pressure on, blokes as good as tall as Jolly, they'll mark those every time.
Darren Jolly gets his first of the afternoon. Coming off a great game last week. 20 possessions, 8 marks, 3 goals, 3. Brogan to do battle with Everett. Aided by the bounce. Brogan wins the tap. Port Adelaide get the ball going in their direction. Burgoyne assisted with a Shepherd. We coughed it up. Ted Richards rebounding up the half-back line with Nick Malcheski in support. Richards kept running. Needs to be quick here. Got it off just in time. Kick favoured Pettigrew. He couldn't find it. Chaplin's had a terrible day in his 50th AFL appearance. Ball still in dispute. And now we'll have a bounce.
Up to 11 disposals for the match. Travis spoke, just a young player. Really should have a goal next to his name too. From earlier in the quarter.
Everett wins the tap. Jared Moore ran onto it. Likes the look of it off the boot. The Swans have kept 2 in 2 minutes.
Brilliant play by Big Everett there, Big Spider. And this is where they really got punished last week. Just a little tap down into the right spot. Not great defending. His direct opponent gave him pretty much an uncharted run through to the goals. really.
I don't know who his opponent was.
Well,
It wasn't Pearce because Jack's playing on Pearce.
I got a feeling it was Chad Corns, and Chad Corns was setting up on the other side. He was setting up the defensive side, but he was too far away.
Jared Moore in his 4th season, just 22 years of age. After kicking 2 goals last week, repeats the dose here, and Sydney's lead back to 16 points as we approach the 23-minute mark, term number 2. Brogan got the tap, did his own roving as well. Salopek retreats to Peter Burgoyne. He was surrounded, just had to get rid of the ball, and now Sydney have the run of it. Playfair to O'Keefe. Running onto it, Toby Thurston's. Well, that was almost out of bounds on the full.
I'll tell you what's happening with Chad Corns. They have dragged him deep now, so he's nearly playing as a back pocket, but he's not putting any time into anybody. That was Buchanan who nearly got that ball then, just across half-forward flank. That was his opponent.
Brogan works to the front against Everett once more. Well read by Buchanan, though. Half-distance kick. Schmidt can't find it. Here's Kasisi.
That's gone.
Kirk runs onto the loose ball. Now they set it up for the goal square, and Alapati Carlisle takes the mark. Thurston's not a lot on offer ahead of him. Has to keep it at close quarters. His surgeon. Distance with the kick. Out to the wing. Now Chesky knocked over the line. And a good battle there with Travis Boak.
Sure, he just on Chad Corns. I've been watching him for the last 5 minutes. He just doesn't want to go near his man. So if Sydney wake up and go through his man, they'll be able to score very easily.
Everett with the tap. Sharked though by Salopek. Wrapped up in a good tackle. Here's Kasisi. Along the boundary line. Treadray looked to be impeded there. And that's the call.
The other thing to that, Rowan, is whoever goes to him or he tries to go to, just go to the goal square. Take a great midfielder out of the play.
Exactly.
He's now pushed up the half-forward flank. Maybe Port have made a change to get him involved.
Well, I think he plays to his own, beats to his own drum a little bit.
Brogan hits it from Kasisi.
He seems to want to play wherever he wants to. You know, if he feels like playing behind the footy, he'll go back. I'm not sure he's got free rein, but certainly plays on his own terms.
30 of the 36 are in Port Adelaide's attacking half of the ground at the moment as Sydney push numbers back and now look to run it through the middle. O'Keefe has Jolly on, has Buchanan calling for it as well. Port Adelaide have numbers. O'Keefe unloads from 52. Logan can't take the mark. It's a minor score.
How hard running O'Keefe to get on the half-back flank, link up. In the end, he didn't have anybody to kick to, so he had the bomb at long.
17-point advantage for Sydney. They started this term with a 12-point buffer. Carlisle outside the defensive 50. Good lead from Ebert. He looks up to the half-forward line. Roden against Bevan. In a good contest. Everett just nudged Brogan under the ball. Now Chesky, hand pass, misses the target in Matner, but he'll be happy to see it over the line. 90 seconds to play until half-time.
Well, they need to get another goal here, Port, just before half-time, because after I think they really were on top for the first 15 or 20 minutes, the last 2 goals for Sydney has meant that all the good work's gone out the window, really. They only led by 12 points at half-time, Sydney. They've actually increased the margin, and I think Port are playing better. And they're now trailing by 17.
And the other thing, you know what Sydney can do? They can just get numbers behind the ball and nearly waste a quarter of the second half with their defensive skills.
Brogan. Now Roden running onto it. Ahead of Craig Bird. Good tackle from Craig Bird. Surgeon, though, with a chance to measure the kick. Treadray the target. Richards there with him. Can't prevent the captain taking the mark.
Too strong. Gee, are we seeing the rebirth of a very good player? Because cruel by injuries, as we keep saying, but that is just body strength. Teddy Richards had to try and get a jump and a leap to somehow get around the body.
Needs to finish desperately here for Port.
Kick 2 already, Treadray, a multiple goal kicker in 7 of the 9 games this season. Makes no mistake, margin cut to 11.
Well, we saw him down in Tasmania last week, 3 goals in the first quarter. I didn't really have an opponent in that first 3 quarters, but he did end up with 4. But it was a couple of times at ground level where he could just take the ball off his toenails and snap goals, which we thought, gee, that's impressive. He's kicked the crumb goal in this quarter, but that was just body strength. That is just Warren Treadray getting back to what he was probably 3 to 4 years ago.
Treadray has kicked 3 of Port Adelaide's last 5. Brett Ebert with the other 2. Good 1-2 punch up forward for the power. Chad Corns shrugs a tackle. Schmidt got into the back of Surgeon. Got away with it initially. And good work from Surgeon to keep the ball in front of him. Boak swung when he didn't have the ball.
Can they get it forward quickly?
10 seconds and counting. Boak looks for the lead. Sat up in the air for Pearce, who's going to win a free kick.
That's it.
Now, if it was Brendan Lade, I'd give him half a chance. If he unloaded on one of those big barrels, but...
Look at this is good for Daniel Pearce. Go back. Oh, I'll go a Torp, son. Try it, Torp. There's no one known he'll make it with a drop punt, you wouldn't think.
I've already written the score in my book here. 11-4-70 at half-time.
Which players in your career do you think would kick this? I would put
Malcolm
this down.
White.
Peter Dacos, Torpedo, no doubt. What?
Let's give it a ride, but yeah.
Pearce, good distance, but not enough on the kick. And an entertaining first half concludes with the Sydney Swans holding an 11-point lead. At quarter time, Sydney led by 12. Port Adelaide have narrowed the gap marginally, but it's Sydney 11-4. Port Adelaide 9-5. We'll have more for you from Amy Stadium right after this.
He's got his spring back, John, hasn't he?
He certainly appears to be moving better than he has. Missed only 4 games last year because of the knee. The previous year, 11. And really did struggle to get back to the, as you say, the way he was able to move and jump.
Look, I think he's lightened off a little bit too. I mean, he seems to be a little bit lighter in the legs, and he's still a strong boy. We saw that the way he didn't go to ground late in that quarter when he kicked that last goal, kept his feet. That's a sign of a player in form. It's confident. It doesn't just go to ground when he's knocked.
Well, we'll just have to see whose matchup is. And Michael O'Loughlin up the other end, he's had 5 possessions and kicked 1 point. But we know that he can turn it on in a 5-minute stanza. And Adam Goods there. Adam Goods had 2 possessions that quarter. 6 in the first, 2 in the second. If Kane Corns goes to him, I don't know why they don't put him a full forward for 5 or 10 minutes and see if Kane Corns goes with him. Could be a dangerous player anywhere. We can see.
Well, if you're looking there, you've
Chad Corns playing to match it.
Nah, it's not. See Kane Corns.
He's going to come off.
He'll peel off the wing and go to Adam Goods. They'll be really happy with that matchup, which will mean Moore and Chad Corns will be opposed to each other.
Underway, term number 3 in brilliant sunshine from Amy Stadium. Jude Bolton taken down in a tackle. Here's Luke Ablett surrounded by Port Adelaide defenders holding the ball. Umpire Dean Margetts awards a holding the ball decision.
Did not make an attempt. Well, let's have a look here. Well, he had his hand held. Good tackle in the end. Unless he was going to kick the ball.
Well, how he was going to do it. He had 2 blokes laying across his legs.
Goods arrives late against Kane Corns. Affects the spoil. Now gets after the loose ball. Craig Bolton.
Oh, he dumped Goods too behind play. Pettigrew, and he's pulled up pretty sore there because he had both hands shut down in the tackle. Watch this, and he might lead with his head here. And oh no, he's all right. Just a strong tackle from behind.
Kirk takes the free kick, finds Jude Bolton. They've kicked the first goal in each of the 2 quarters so far, Sydney, and now Darren Jolly will have an opportunity to kick the first here in term number 3.
Terrific kick by Jude Bolton. And great lead.
And he's moving well.
An instinctive lead by Jolly. Brogan is again looking around to say, well, where was the support? But they open up some space for him.
Jolly, a goal kicker in term number 2. Margin has never been bigger than 18 points in the game, and that extends it to 12.
Well, he doesn't like being deep. Brogan, you can see that's obviously a plan. Because if the ruckman want to stay long, well, we'll just use up the opposition ruckman, push forward and get dangerous.
Port Adelaide clear their defensive 50 very effectively. Chad Corns up high, can't take the mark. This is Kieran Jack with problems.
Now that's nearly got to be the same, doesn't it? Holding the ball.
Kasisi, quick kick. Treadray leads the charge at the moment. Bounce favours Matner though. To Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Kirk gets it back to Roberts-Thompson. That pass is terrible. Straight to Peter Burgoyne. No players in Port's attacking 50 at the moment. That's why Burgoyne's got nowhere to go. Across the ground, Thurstons. Quick hand pass to Boak. Now Pettigrew joining in off the half-back line. Undecided. Takes on McVeigh. Looping hand pass to no teammate, O'Keefe.
Nothing long here for the Swans.
Luke Ablett.
Got to go McVeigh.
Playfair, the only Sydney player in their attacking 50. He almost got the mark as well. He's got 3 to beat here, Playfair.
Good play.
Chad Corns. Release pressure with the assistance of Thurston and now Kasisi. Has Kane Corns over the top. Goods arriving again.
He's a great tagger, isn't he? He just knows when to release from his man to become an offensive threat.
Motlop against Craig Bolton. Bit off more than he could chew. Goods has got Kane Corns. Ball springs free to Kirk. Oh, Craig Bolton actually kicked it into Martin Matner, and it'll trickle across the line.
Well, now lucky not to get a free kick there, Adam Goods, I would have thought.
Whoa.
Motlop getting frustrated. Been a slow day, just 4 disposals. Chad Corns over the top of Luke Ablett. Stood up as well and got the ball out of there. Jared Moore. Craig Bolton. About to be run down. Good tackle from Robbie Gray. Play on the goal. Ebert looking for his 5th. And the fans like it.
Well, you want your forwards. It's been a real tight battle in the midfield for the start of this quarter. Some great tackling, some great pressure. Craig Bolton, just a lack of awareness what was coming from behind him. And Robbie Gray, that's one thing he does. We know he can play as a good forward. He can kick a goal, but just his defensive skills were sensational. Don't know whether Brett Eve would be happy with that kick off the boot, but that was what happened. You kick a goal because your forwards pressure like that. That's the one they needed to start this quarter with, Port Adelaide.
Motlop's had a slow day, but Brett Ebert has picked up the slack. 5 straight for Ebert after he kicked 3-1 the last week, and here's Motlop just getting a little frustrated with Craig Bolton.
Yeah, he's very lucky that didn't connect, that round arm. Good game of footy. As I say, you can just feel that they're right in this game here, Port Adelaide. They're working really hard.
Almost 5 minutes played, term number 3. Jolly wins the tap. Shark by Chad Corns. Kasisi in the mix again. Open forward line for the power. Out strongly Gray. Bevan wrestled him off it and came up with a loose ball. Tremendous work from the defender. Needs to be accurate with the kick and was to Jolly.
Brogan's just got to tighten up a little bit on Jolly. Just don't want him to become the release player from the pressure out of defence.
Jolly cross ground for Craig Bolton. Not a lot of movement from their forward line for the Swans, and Bolton holding it up as well. Goes for Kirk.
Now, as we said in the second quarter, John, I think that actually certainly Port Adelaide are working a little bit hard at the moment, but they still haven't made any real inroads on the scoreboard. We're seeing the effort because we're seeing how alert they are out there, the Port players, and how hard they're running, especially laterally, when they get the ball and they attack. But they just need to somehow get themselves in front at the moment, and Sydney have had all the answers.
Got a loose man right on the outer wing here, nearly on the boundary line.
Roberts-Thompson. 34 of the 36 players are in the Swans attacking half at the moment. And Ted Richards up from the back line is one of them. Back to the centre of the ground for Craig Bolton. Now he's the last man. No one behind him.
Oh,
The Swans, it's come unstuck here. Robbie Gray comes across. Matner with some work to do. Outnumbered. Did a good job to keep Boak in the vicinity. Bevan scurries it further afield. Well, they got out of jail there, Sydney. And now they're moving forward. Kieran Jack, one way, back the other. Measures the pass. Good work from Brogan. Running onto it, Craig Bird. Roberts-Thompson. Look for Kieran Jack. He has to retrieve it under pressure from Boak. Kirk slung off the ball by Pearce. Treadray joins in. Good tackle from Kieran Jack to take on the big man. Now Jared Moore.
Well done to Brogan. I said that Brogan had to make sure that he was on Jolly's back. He got that disposal in. Oh, that's throwing the ball. That's not a handball. Prior opportunity. This is lifted, Liam.
And the fans are lifting as well here at Amy Stadium. Kane Corns gets the ball forward, but outnumbered. Robbie Gray had 3 to beat. Leo Barry, undecided still. They use the corridor. Roberts Thompson, influential here, term number 3. Richards, about to be run down.
Oh.
Slow hand pass, scooped up by Playfair, who hasn't seen a lot of it so far. Kieran Jack, quick kick. O'Loughlin looming in the pocket. Not aided by the bounce. Pettigrew over the back. O'Loughlin, it's out of bounds.
Good, hard, tough footy. This is what you want to see. This is what Mark Williams would want to see too, because if they can match the intensity of the Swans, who are so good at this game, they're a chance to win the match.
Let's go to Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, I sit right next to the tunnel where the Port Adelaide players came out after half-time, and you can hear their voices echo, tackle pressure, and they're certainly doing that in this quarter.
If you had the volume down and you watch this game, you would think Port Adelaide would be ahead by a mile. Yeah. That's just in general play, but the scoreboard says that Sydney, 1 goal up. You're right. They've got to keep this pressure up now to see if they can break Sydney. Easier said than done.
Brogan takes the front spot. Boak involved again. Back to the boundary line.
I have seen a real lift around the stoppages too at the contest. I reckon their stoppage work's been pretty good. Both Corns has been involved. Pearce has had some clearances as well. And then a really competitive effort from the ruckman. They've been right on top today, the Port ruckman.
Well, they're 3 and 5, Port Adelaide, in 10th position. They don't want to be 3 and 6. And Brendan Lade wins a free kick. And Sydney have lost their way. But can Port Adelaide extend their advantage onto the scoreboard as well? Lade across ground. O'Keefe closing. Westhoff gets there. In fact, it's Bolton who was closing in on Westhoff.
Man on man everywhere here. Yeah. Someone's got to take some opportunities to run. Some run and carry they need here. Someone with some zip.
Pettigrew.
Pettigrew.
With a bounce. Reluctant to take a second. Hoists it long up to the wing. Boat going back with a flight of the ball. So too Matner. Went the spoil. Paddled it to the advantage of Darren Jolly and wins a free against Travis Boat. Well, he couldn't find a spot in Adelaide's team during last year's finals, Martin Matner, and he's been a great pickup for Sydney, particularly with the injury problems they've had, and with Kennelly out at the moment. He's been a bonus. Goes to Kieran Jack. Again, they're reluctant to push the ball forward quickly.
Well, they just want to play possession football now. They'll just keep chipping the ball, trying to find. They'll go backwards, sideways. And Port are doing a great job because Lade is sitting right in the 50-metre arc, the defensive 50-metre arc now for Port Adelaide.
Goods comes out, takes the mark. He plays on to put some pressure on. Drives deep. O'Loughlin the target. Pettigrew there with him. Ryan O'Keefe scurries after the loose ball. Shadowed by Michael Wilson. Didn't keep it alive. It's out of bounds. The score won't count.
Just has been played. A few of the defenders, it's cruel, but Michael Pettigrew and Lewis Roberts-Thompson, you don't want them to get the ball in their hand because they don't think clearly enough. They've got to either handball, use some of their running players to use the ball better. It could come down to a bad mistake from a defender in the end of this game.
Laid up, so too Brogan. Cassisi runs onto it. Kirk supplies the tackle. Craig Bird the loose ball. O'Keefe shut down. Courageous work from Cassisi. Now Kirk taken to ground. Westhoff involved. Here's Playfair. Bird, or Kieran Jack it was. Jude Bolton, handball over the top. This is Craig Bird. Gets it onto the boot quickly and inaccurately.
Rugby scrum, that one, wasn't it? Just forcing it through a road of numbers. Great smother by Cassisi.
Well, we've played 11 and a bit minutes here, term number 3, and Sydney have added 2 points to their half-time tally. The only goal to Brett Ebert.
This is more like what we were expecting.
Yeah, this is it.
Not the 8-goal to 6 shootout in the first quarter.
That we were enjoying.
We were loving it. I like this, though. I think you test out some blokes in these sort of games. Who wants to put their head over it? Who wants to take a risk, a calculated risk? And you can just see it's going to go to the wire.
Everett gets into the back of Brogan. Good snuck across as well. Putting his head down, Roden. Craig Bird getting into the back of his opponent. That went unwhistled. Here's O'Keefe, caught on his wrong foot, which is his right, but he was still good with it.
Did well.
Finds Richards, who goes wider to Buchanan. He plays on, back onto the left foot, 60 metres out, going deep, getting back Carlisle there with Playfair to defuse the situation.
He is getting, Buchanan then is getting a cook from Malcheski, a cook from, I think it's Bolton down there as well. He just picked the wrong option, or a couple loose inside 50 for the Swans. He just didn't see.
Brogan wins the tap. It went straight to Craig Bird. He couldn't find it. Cassisi worried him out of it. His kick, though, goes straight to Paul Bevan.
Well, that's 2 turnovers. The last 2 times he's had the ball and 1 great smother.
He's in the game at least.
Yeah.
Buchanan's got it again.
For the right and wrong reasons. Now, he's a left footer. You've got to play inside him on his left side.
Pass, Everett at the back, doesn't get that far. Mark taken by Logan.
Gee, they're doing a good job, Port Adelaide. We're talking about they're under pressure here, but they're getting numbers back, helping out each other in the one-on-ones.
Salopek. Chesky on the mark. Salopek.
Oh, dangerous kick.
Craig Bolton is there for Sydney. Kept it in front of himself. Worried out of it by Surgeon. Daniel Motlop joins in and Porter away. Treadray the target. Roberts Thompson comes across.
That's a great kick, that. Because he only had 5 metres between Roberts Thompson, Treadray and the boundary line.
His hands have been very good today. He should use Corns. That's a good option. Use him short, just the required 15, but it creates other runners. Look at this.
Motlop casually strolls to 60, goes for distance. Westhoff in the goal square with Ted Richards, who did a good job to bat that down. Matner in slow motion, drops the ball, and Ebert wins the free.
Well, he wanted to get on his left side, I think, to come back. How slow was that?
Oh, I think he might be spent. I think it might have been a long chase down there to compete.
Ebert retreats to Chad Corns.
Much better position, really, for Chad Corns. Doesn't take his best work. I'd give it to Motlop.
Yeah.
Does so. Motlop unloads.
No.
Coming back, but not enough. A minor score.
He knows how to scunge around behind the bloke that's 60 metres out. Daniel Motlop. He knows it. I'll give it to him. I don't blame them. I would too. Just get around those blokes when they're just on their range, John. Just get around there. You might get a little easy handball receive.
I'll tell you what, Liam, we say to the players of the modern era a lot quicker than our day. Marty Matner, he didn't look too quick on that. You know what it is? The speed and the ballistic nature of the game just tires them out so quickly.
Oh, he wasn't slow motion there, Marty.
Here it is. Look at this.
He's just having a nice old stroll, a leisurely stroll.
I tell you what, I was slow and people said I was slow, but I love watching that.
And why was he surprised when someone tackled him?
Yeah, I think he thought he had a bit more time than that. This is a good quality, tough game at the minute, though.
Well, they've invested a lot, Port Adelaide, in the last quarter and a bit, and they're still trailing.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't been able to get their noses in front all day. But, as I say, the effort's there. Their effort's there. Mark Williams would be happy with this.
And I tell you what, Sydney would be happy with this.
Oh, well, Sydney love these sort of games.
Fans getting voice as well as Everett wins the tap. Congestion around the ball. Buchanan hacks one forward. Mark taken by Chaplin. Plays on quickly. Toby Thurstons. Closed down. Gets it off to Peter Burgoyne, who gets it back from Travis Boak. Measures the kick looking for Westhoff. Richards behind. Did a good job. Westhoff off the ground. The Matner's coming to the bench now. And moving a little quicker than before.
Sometimes when you have a big effort, though, that you can actually be absolutely dead on your feet.
Oh, no doubt. No, look, I don't blame him. I just say just the modern game's so powerful that it can tire like that.
Motlop taken down strongly. McVeigh at close quarters. Jared Moore. Good acceleration. Logan goes with him, but he drew the player. Buchanan over the top for Craig Bird. Pearce runs him down. O'Loughlin scoops it up and then slung to the ground by Pettigrew. It's a push in the back.
Gee, you'd love to see this replay. Like Pettigrew saying, I think he did have it initially, and the... God, you can't stop a tackle like that when a ball comes through. I know it's hard. The umpire said you hold him longer, but they were going to the ground, and he wasn't happy. Lucky he didn't give a 50-metre penalty for just that show of anger there.
Well, he's overdue, Michael O'Loughlin. The Sydney Swans have used 30 players this year. He's the only one that's in double figures in goals after 8 games. But he hasn't kicked one today. He's kicked goals in 11 of his 13 games against Port Adelaide, and he silences the fans.
Well, so much hard work by Port Adelaide to get themselves in a position. I love this bit of play by Jared Moore. Hard runner, taking him on. He's gone inside. Terrific play to Buchanan, the link-up handball. Now, the free kick, it fell out of his hands. Yeah, I can see why it was paid. Played it very well, the experienced Michael O'Loughlin. But the kick from 50 metres with tired legs deep into a third quarter, gee, it's a sensational goal. And you just feel the Swans can always find something when they're challenged.
23 goals, 7 for the season for Michael O'Loughlin, with goals now in 7 of the 9 games. A lone hand.
2 goals for the quarter, 1 each. It has just been an arm wrestle. Fantastic contest.
18 minutes played. Term number 3. Goods launches himself out of the centre. They attack to O'Loughlin again. Takes the mark.
Copybook football. Good luck being a defender when the ball gets banged into the forward line like that. They've actually won the tap, but the Goods pace at the clearance. And I'll tell you what, doesn't matter who you are, if your ball gets in there and you've got a smart forward in front, Mickey O'Loughlin, he eats those.
We're celebrating Indigenous round. Goods to O'Loughlin. Says it all.
Well, they just blow it out again, don't they? They've got the answers. They've been under enormous pressure, but they have been built around this pressure over a number of years. 5 years. This is the way that Paul Roos loves them to play. You know, the contested ball, if we can get a clean clearance like that, Michael O'Loughlin can turn it on in 5 minutes, and he's done that. 2 goals. He could blow this game apart in the next minute or so. I think Roden needs a lift for Port Adelaide. He's a player who can ignite him.
6 straight last week for O'Loughlin, and now 7 times this season he's been a multiple goal kicker. 485 in his career, second on the ladder at South Melbourne / the Swans. McVeigh, quick kick going nowhere. Kieran Jack with the punch. Salopek obliges as well. Now Westhoff, he goes off the ground. Good distance with it. Robbie Gray, the elusive one, shut down by Bevan.
Oh, great handball by Treadway.
And a good finish as well. No, it's not. Boak has missed it again.
Gee, the work by Treadway was outstanding there. The quick dish. Tried to bend it around the corner. Travis Boak probably should have kicked the drop punt in that situation. Just play the percentage. Sometimes it's a natural thing because you do it so much at training, you know, just bend the ball around the corner, but not a lot of percentage there, really.
Leo Barry.
We're back to the margin, which was deep into the second quarter, aren't we? You know, you're back to 17 points.
And the biggest has been 18 all day. Good mark taken by Tim Smith. Playing his first game in 2008, made his debut here against Port, round 17, 2006. Lewis Roberts-Thompson around in a circle. Now Malcheski. Disposal number 7 for him. Right. Good accuracy to find Jude Bolton.
Tell the other player, said about David Roden, well, Motlop needs a lift too. He's another one. He was a danger play before the game, but it's been the other forwards who've done the job for Port.
O'Keefe comes out. O'Loughlin favoured by the bounce though. Now a chance for Amon Buchanan. Works inside the 50. Knocked through. And back to an 18-point lead for Sydney. It's never been bigger during the game, and we are into time on term number 3.
They've absorbed the punishment that Port dished up in the first part of this quarter. And now they look the more dangerous team.
Boat gets it from Logan. Ebert on a searching lead. Leo Barry into his back. Ebert will look to play on. Does so. Has had a day out already. Ebert with 5. Let's make it an even half dozen.
Well, I talked about Roden and I talked about Motlop. Well, this man's trying to do it on his own back. And this is exactly at the start of the game why I thought this matchup wasn't good. Hold him off. He's got a good body strength, Ebert. But then at ground level, Leo Barry just lost his way in the contest. No way known to recover from that. And you give Brett Ebert about 5 metres. I thought, gee, you just hope that the ball bounces up to you the right way there. He'll finish every time. He's played a brilliant game. 6 goals.
Ebert with 6. He's kicked 3 of Port Adelaide's last 4. Started the day with 3 in the first term, 1 in the second, and now 2 here in the third. He's never kicked more than 6 in a game in his career.
9 goal scorers to 4.
Yeah, it may. Yeah, that's right.
The midfielders of the Swans have got through a bit.
Oh, they've worked a bit harder. Might be time here. I reckon it might be the Craig Bolton off Motlop. And swapped him and Barry around. Put Craig Bolton on Ebert because he looks like the match winner at the minute.
Matner re-energised after a spell on the bench. He's moving okay now. Kieran Jack deep with the kick to the pocket. O'Loughlin.
Oh, he's amazing.
Toby Thurston's continues to try and play off his man as a defender. Now, I know he's not the biggest bloke going around. Great play by Matner. He's gone and been refreshed all right. And he just used his body because he didn't originally have feel. So he just bumped him early and got front position. Against experienced players, we saw it last week, he doesn't really want to play arm across as a defender. And I reckon he probably, with a player like O'Loughlin, who hasn't got the speed he once had, it's how you need to play him.
Had 2 kicks in the first half, Michael O'Loughlin. That's misses to the near side.
That's a let-off. I agree totally. And the thing about it, you can make body contact. You're saying put the arm across. That's right, because you know where he is. But I think if you want to bump a player and then not recover, it's so easy, Michael, to go bang and then get 3 metres on you. It's just the wrong way of the positioning. I don't know whether I'd change Leo Barry off Ebert now, because it could be Motlop who then becomes the issue. You lose one way or the other.
Yeah, but sure, you have to roll the dice here. He's kicked 6 goals, Ebert.
But they're still in front. You know, that's what the coach would be looking at. We are in front. I'm with you. I know I tried to call it early, but they might say, oh, well, Leo, you've got to just do it for a son.
Boak, goal side of Matner, couldn't take the mark. Matner scurries back. Robbie Gray out with courage. Appeared to be taken high. No free kick. Fans don't like it. Burgoyne off the side of the boot and up and under. Standing his ground, Bolton. Gray was fantastic. Bevan in there helping out as well. Good contest, Chaplin and Jude Bolton. Oh, it's hot in the kitchen now. Kirk. Jared Moore. Well, the Swans are loving this. In their element, O'Keefe against Pettigrew and over the line. Well, the fans wanted a free kick. Robbie Gray looked like he was almost decapitated.
Well, let's have a look at this. Now, Bolton. Now, you watch when Bolton goes to ground. I'm not sure what Motlop's doing.
Well, maybe accidental.
No, he's just sitting on him.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a big few minutes here. Port Adelaide need another goal desperately.
Jared Moore. Legs will get the free kick.
There, one player has gone out of the game for the Sydney Swans is O'Keefe. Logan's done a great job on him.
He has indeed.
There's some tired players now. 2.5 to play. Term number 3. A war of attrition here at Amy Stadium, where the Sydney Swans have a 4-3 head-to-head lead over Port Adelaide. Goods. Tackled by Roden. Dropped the ball. Kirk somehow got out a handball. Jared Moore works inside the 50.
Great speed.
Across the face of goal, a minor score.
He's got great power, sure. We saw him on the centre wing. He set up their last goal away, Lachlan.
Oh, he's going to be crook here. It just shows how much pain these players are going through. He's taken them out. He looks like he's going to be ill.
It's a very physical game.
Thurston's for Motlop. Less than 2 minutes to play. Treadray on a searching lead. Motlop turns him down. Logan started his career with Brisbane. Played 22 games there, now 26 with Port. Comes to the wing. Brogan, good mark. Plays on. Peter Burgoyne. Not a lot on offer. Looks for the lead of Westhoff.
Gee, long reach. What a reach.
Terrific mark.
They can't get the ball in the corridor, can they? They're trying to get it back in that centre corridor to find a loose player.
They need one of their speed machines, a Burgoyne or Pearce or Roden or Boak.
Cut the lines.
To really work from behind the player with the ball and just get on the end of a couple of handball receives and create something.
Chad Corns looks for Lay, takes front position. Matner from behind. Lay comes again. Pearce looks for Brogan. 50 seconds and counting till three-quarter time. Ebert the danger man. Leo Barry calling a crisis.
Did well, Leo Barry there.
Well, he loves a game saver in the back pocket. Matner. Down on all fours, Roden tackled by Jude Bolton. Ted Richards takes them on. Good hands from the Sydney Swans in a confined space. And behind play, Ted Richards is slow to get back to his feet.
Oh, they're out now. They've got a loose man going here.
20 seconds to play, term number 3. Kieran Jack looks for O'Loughlin. Shakes Pettigrew. Almost lost his pants in the process. He's holding the ball.
Oh, that was a big one for the Port Adelaide side because another goal there might have just blown this game out. Great tackling at the end. Pettigrew missed it. And there's the siren. What a quarter of football, John.
Outstanding from both teams. Between them, Sydney and Port Adelaide have played in the last 4 grand finals. We've got a finals atmosphere here now as well. With 1 quarter to play, Sydney have been in front all day, lead by 14, but are Port Adelaide coming?
Let's go and have a look at the MCG. Oh, it's actually the Telstra Dome, I should say.
Final score.
Oh, Freo, they've been overrun, Shorey.
Oh, something different. No, I don't like that. No.
Well, 1 goal.
14-4 to 14-13, so they had shots at goal, Carlton. Good win by the Blues.
In another game. But this game here this is Port Adelaide's season for me. It's how important this game is to the Port Adelaide Footy Club, is that if they lose this game, they're not going to be able to finish top 6, and you've got to be somewhere up around the mark. I don't think they can make top 4, but this is really a season-defining last quarter, this one.
They're 3 and 5 at the moment, and remember, Port concede 50% more scoring shots in the last quarter than they do in the first quarter of a game. Their habit this year has been to run out of pup in the final quarter, and they can't afford that this afternoon. Great atmosphere here at Amy Stadium. Trust you are enjoying our coverage as term number 4 gets underway, and Dean Brogan hacks the ball forward for Port Adelaide. Pearce, good tackle on Kieran Jack, and the ball might come back in his direction. Cassisi. Peter Burgoyne measures the pass.
Oh, great.
Great mark taken by Tom Logan. Kicked only 1 goal all year. Hurried off the kick and out of bounds.
Lack of awareness, wasn't it? Just, he did the right thing the first time, had to have a quick kick, but didn't understand the pressure that the Sydney Swans players.
There's Brett Kirk getting involved.
Stop play here, big stop play.
Peter Burgoyne running onto the loose ball, goes into the open goal and kicks his first goal of the year.
Brilliant play. They won the first clearance, Port Adelaide, through Brogan. Great running play with the players we talked about getting involved. Now, Brett Kirk tried to stop his run there. He tried to block him having a run at it, but he gave him the goose step in the finish. And Peter Burgoyne, he's a beautiful mover. He was actually being a little bit held there. Poor Brett Kirk, he did so well to Logan, stopped Logan kicking that goal before, but you can't let Peter Burgoyne have a run in a contest like that. That's exactly what Port Adelaide need to start this last quarter.
Well, he's top 10 in the AFL in disposals, Peter Burgoyne, averaging 25 per game, but that's his first goal of the year.
Now, that's become a matchup, Burgoyne on Kirk. I'd be saying to Peter Burgoyne, don't go into the crunches. We need you outside the crunches. Let Kirk do that job and see if he can sneak forward on him.
Chad Corns drives Port Adelaide forward. Good mark from Daniel Pearce. Plays on. Logan running again. Treadray the target. Coming out as well, Motlop. Too speedy for Craig Bolton. Wheels around onto the right foot. He's overdue. Port Adelaide within 2 points.
Oh, gee whiz. I've been saying he had the lift. I thought he was a danger man early in this game. But Daniel Motlop, just the way that he can bring it out. And this is a magnificent mark because that's a contested mark by 2 small players. A man is being tagged and they just swing back inboard. Logan's had a couple of quick touches in the quarter. But look at that. That's why they play the game. That's what Adam Goods was saying. That's why they are special. And that's why you love to watch them.
Well, Indigenous round. Daniel Motlop and Peter Burgoyne come to the fore in the final quarter. We've got a 2-point ball game, and how much petrol does Sydney have left in the tank as a free kick goes to Brogan?
What they've got, John, is they've got momentum. They needed that spark, and all the players we asked to lift in this quarter have all lifted so far.
Ebert just nudged Leo Barry under the ball. Cassisi goes to Ebert from 50. He unloads. Good shepherding by Motlop. It's hit the post.
Isn't it amazing? 25,000 attendance and 13 people, but it sounds like all of a sudden, it sounds like a full house. It sounds like 45.
Did Motlop try to kick this? Oh, how good would that have been?
And boys, Port Adelaide have released Kane Corns as well, so he's playing as a half-forward flanker, and then we'll go into the midfield to rack up the possessions too, so watch out for that one.
Had to do it, Rowan. They had to make sure they rolled the dice here.
Dominic Cassisi's got the job on Adam Goods now.
Matner reluctant to restart, given the hurry up. Big mark. Over the top, Darren Jolly.
And he had a great game. Oh,
made the contest, and that's a tremendous grab.
Hurt himself. Might just be winded, maybe.
I think he would be. They don't want to lose him because his athleticism's been a real strong point this year for the Swans.
Well, he's come off second hand. Played every game last season, Darren Jolly. Finished top 10 in the best and fairest.
I think he landed on the ball.
Yeah, it's a good way to get winded.
Oh, that hurts. Oh.
He's got problems. He can't move.
Oh.
Just kicks it high and out of bounds on the full.
Well, he was asking players, look, he is really winded. He's asking players to come to him and no one could move.
Pearce restarts. Kane Corns. 4.5 minutes played in the final term. Port Adelaide pressing again to the pocket. Motlop against Lewis Roberts-Thompson, and the ball trickles out of bounds.
No, they haven't. I thought they might have changed the match-up, but no, there goes Bolton straight back to Daniel Motlop, and he's asking, well, did you see him holding me jumper?
Brogan, front spot against Jolly. Matner involved. Jude Bolton likewise. Kerr, as always, not far from the action, but the mark taken by Salopek. Squaring the ball. He's got multiple options. Michael Wilson.
Here's Pettigrew here.
Pettigrew peels off. And now to the lead of Ebert.
Yeah.
Thought about the short pass to Treadray.
Now, he can near load up here. We know he's a beautiful long kick on the run. Where's Daniel Motlop? He's got to be around there somewhere. He normally gets close by when someone's at this range. But here's a thumping kick. And normally when you've got 6 under your belt, you're reasonably confident when you're having a shot from wherever.
His dad Russell's in the AFL Hall of Fame. Brett Ebert looking to make a name for himself here today. Can't get the carry. Goods takes the mark.
Well, you don't mind seeing that. You don't want Adam Goods running through the forward 50 or through the centre, splitting the lines.
Well, there you go. That's the telling statistic. 19-3. They've had the ball 3 times. Make this 4 now for the quarter, the Swans.
Craig Bird looks for Jared Moore. Good disposal. Just outside their defensive 50, however.
They'll go into tempo mode now. Just keep possession, go down the line, switch it if you can. They don't even look like wanting to play on, do they, at the moment?
Now Chesky. Calling for some run.
There's no one running at all.
Now he looks to take on Westhoff. Shove taking the kick, forced in a hurry. Salopek. Port Adelaide, well, they have got the momentum at the moment. Ebert sharing it out wide.
Corns is on, Corns is on.
Pearce looks for Chad Corns. Pitches just inside the boundary line. Corns trying to keep it alive. Still in play. Knocked out of bounds by Bevan. It was close to out of bounds on the full.
That is on the full. Let's have a look here. Oh. Humpy missed it.
As they say, a game of inches. Look at the tackling.
Logan backing back. Takes the mark. Been impressive in this final quarter. Now Wilson has Surgeon running past.
Should use Pettigrew again from behind. That's the run that they were looking for in that third quarter that they needed.
Shut down initially. Wilson forced to kick off a step, and Matner can clear the danger zone for Sydney O'Loughlin, charging out to the wing. Chaplin takes front position. O'Loughlin somehow they worked his way to the front. Not the best kick for his teammates, and what a mark by Chaplin.
That was brilliant play because his effort against O'Loughlin wasn't great. He got really kept behind him, but that's actually following up your work. That was sensational play from a young player.
I tell you what, I said about a couple of defenders, you don't want the ball in the hand. Michael Pettigrew just does not think through the congestion. He needs to handball the ball off a lot more.
Pearce looking for Salopek. With him, Jared Moore, undersized, did a good job initially, now needs help. Had it for a long time. Finds Kirk. Kieran Jack in support.
Great defence.
And Kirk has it again. Handball over Surgeon to Bevan. Back to Kirk. Goods the next target. Strength to get the handball away. Jolly surrounded. Coughed it up. Motlop intelligently gets it to Boak. Tackle. Goods. Now Ted Richards. And Sydney again drive the ball forward. Buchanan makes the contest. Did a good job of it as well. Still with some work to do. Shrugs the tackle. Now Chesky, the bionic backman, surveys the situation. Had it for a long time and has given it up.
Yeah, Michael Wilson's off the bit. He's coming to the bench. He's nearly done and dusted for the game, I would think.
Treadray on the lead. Roberts Thompson there with him. Good contest. Kieran Jack cleans up for Matner. Port Adelaide fans wanted a free to Treadray. None forthcoming. O'Loughlin against Pettigrew. Spills to Salopek. And now Logan. Short, Brogan, Chad Corns running into trouble. Jolly's got him.
Great tackle.
O'Keefe, handball for Adam Goods. No one in the goal square, unprotected, now getting back. It's all Port Adelaide. Carlisle. Well, this has
got to be a good bounce here.
A war of attrition. Daniel Pearce, short kick. It runs out of bounds.
We get down to Rowan Smith on the boundary line. The intensity, Smithy, is sensational down there, I would have thought.
Oh, Pickers, it's electrifying, really it is, and the crowd's getting into it. And just on Brett Ebert, he came to the bench with right groin soreness, but he's standing up, should be back on in a minute.
Yeah, get him out there.
Brogan knocked down, winning the tap. Peter Burgoyne at close quarters to Travis Boak.
Man.
Goods involved again for Sydney. Jude Bolton to Jared McVeigh around the corner. Kirk.
That's a really clever kick. The McVeigh kick. He had nothing on long.
Yeah, well done. But they're getting numbers behind the ball too, Liam. So even when the Swans do look up and they get a couple quick handballs away, we saw Adam Goods just kick it forward to 3 Port Adelaide players. 10.5 minutes played in the final quarter. Sydney with a 1-point lead. Port Adelaide with momentum. Chad Corns, what a smother from Adam Goods.
Just want to go back to, you mentioned about Pettigrew not making great decisions. What I like about Pettigrew and what he's been able to do this year, and I agree with what you're saying, what he's done in this last quarter so far is he actually created some run-off half-back. Sydney haven't got that at the moment.
Brogan couldn't win a free kick again there when the fans thought there was one. Gee. Either the umpire thought that as a ruckman you've got to dispose of the ball properly, or this has to be, oh, that's got to be a free kick.
He just missed that. Don't ask me how.
Jolly wins the tap. Kerr in a confined space.
Big bounce here.
Peter Burgoyne favoured by it. Handball looking for Boak. McVeigh with a good tackle. Surgeon tried it out of mid-air. Kirk camping on it and got it back as well. Active hands from Boak. How good is this? Good tackle from Kirk, and he was on the ground.
Oh, they're out at half forward. Great kick.
Chad Corns. This is Stephen Salopek. Goes to work. Did that bounce or hit the... I think it bounced before it, so it's another big set play here. Brendan Lade or Brogan.
Well, you wouldn't want to let a Roden or a Peter Bergen or someone have a run at the goals here.
It's already happened in this term. Everett to the front position. Palmed it well.
Did well.
Jude Bolton to Goods. They lead by a point. And now Malcheski with the luxury of a bounce. A little undecided. Leo Barry with it now. He looks at Everett. It was a poor kick. Surgeon comes across. Chaplin. Bounce eludes Salopek. Jared Moore getting into his back. It's a push. Yeah, they just missed a couple Port's way. The pressure's building. Jared Moore just over the shoulder then.
41 inside 50s, Port Adelaide, 34 Sydney. So it's being played in one half of the ground this game, even though they're still not in front.
Lade deep with the pass. Robbie Gray can't run onto it. Nor Ted Richards, and it's out of bounds. Now, the Sydney Swans, I would think, all they're going to do with this tap work is to try and get it to the front of the pack and have numbers around it. Port Adelaide need to get this over the back. Try and punch it over the back and get someone to run onto it.
There it is.
Oh, great spot to hit the ball, but
They were all there,
over
Sydney.
it. They were all over it.
Goods. Playfair hasn't seen a lot of it. Couldn't find it there. Now he does. O'Loughlin, the only Sydney player ahead of the ball.
Oh,
Gets rid of his opponent. Shapes the kick. Now tries to take on Thurston's. Dispossessed. Port Adelaide through Logan. Now Carlisle for Westhoff. For confusion on the Port Adelaide bench as well as Motlop returns.
oh, he's out here, Motlop too.
And boys, just on it, just Choco Williams has just come down the bench and he's screaming and yelling. He is the most enthusiastic bloke I've seen for a long, long time as a coach.
And he's been animated all week. Robbie Gray.
Here's Daniel Motlop.
Is Motlop
from 70.
lurking at the back, wants to take them on, dances around the Bevan tackle from 55. It's coming back. Port Adelaide are in front for the first time today.
Oh, Paul Roos will be just going nuts here. You can't let Daniel Motlop anywhere near. We've said it all day. He's hung around the boat with the ball 60 metres out all day. It was a very good tackle here by Thurston's. Wonderful tackle by O'Loughlin. And again, the run and carry. Robbie Gray, he has got beautiful hands. We know he's got around goals, but he's so clever, this bloke, on the run. Nothing better than watching Daniel Motlop. Well, he's set for probably Sean Burgoyne when they're in full flight.
Well, Mark Williams down on the boundary line. Port Adelaide have kicked the last 4 goals in the game and lead for the first time this afternoon.
Well, it's no disrespect to the opponent, but how many times can they sell the dummy before they're going to kick the ball and you fall for it? That's why, again, I say they are magical. The Aboriginal boys, just sensational then.
Luke Ablett gets Sydney going forward. The pass, though, favours Chaplin. O'Keefe
Had to be.
forms the contest. Now Salopek, who could be in trouble here. Umpire comes in, Dean Margetts.
.43-36 inside 50s. Sydney, you'd never write the Swans off.
Loose ball. Chad Corns after it. Ball handling problems.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
McVeigh gets a piece of the action. It's out of bounds.
You're adding a broken finger to pressure, and it normally leads to a fumble. But look, I think they've done a great job. The Corns boys have really lifted them in this quarter too.
Everett takes front position, nudged by Lade. Logan gets rid of the ball quickly. Port Adelaide trying to get out of the danger zone. Chaplin in his 50th appearance, playing his best football the longer the game goes. Now out of bounds. On the full free kick, Sydney.
A lot of players behind the ball now for Port Adelaide, and this is a dangerous kick.
Roberts Thompson looks for Leo Barry. No margin for error there. Bevan next in the chain. Plays quickly. Jude Bolton over the top. Craig Bolton. Knocked down, taking the kick, gets it to the pocket. What a mark from Ryan O'Keefe.
Left foot up.
Looks to play on, centres the ball. Mark couldn't be taken by McVeigh. Kirk, quick kick, smothered. Peter Burgoyne. Port looked to clear again. Chaplin had plenty of time. Didn't come off sweetly. Salopek back into the congestion. Now Chad Corns. Handball for Treadray.
Good hands.
Robbie Gray. Back to Chad Corns. Going around in circles at the moment. Treadray. Collared by Ablett. Looked a little high. Play on the call. Gray. Treadray.
Well done, Treadray.
Westhoff. A lone figure in the Port Adelaide forward line. And now the danger man joins in. Ebert going back. Matner. Good contest. Roberts Thompson dropped the ball under pressure from Roden. And escorted over the line by a tired Brett Ebert.
What about Warren Treadray down here, boys? I know, great tackle by Ablett, but Treadray went 2 and 3 times at the contest and just kept the ball alive. Well done.
Motlop snatches it out of thin air.
Oh, it's still in.
Pokes it into the forward pocket. Sydney with some work to do. Goods gets back in a hurry, and now it's over the line.
You've never seen 6 blokes all wanting the ball to go out of bounds like this happened then. Everyone's very tired. The intensity. Hey, Smithy, are the lights on down there?
Yeah, they are. It was getting very dark in the third quarter, but just at three-quarter time, they turned the lights on, Piggers.
The Port Adelaide with all the momentum at the moment. Sydney have stopped to a walk. The Swans yet to score in this term, and we've played more than 18 minutes.
That'll be great.
Gray. Port Adelaide pressing once more. Logan, who's been everywhere in the final term. Roden sells the dummy, splits two defenders, goes to work. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, that would have been a big point, wouldn't it? Like now they can play the ground, play on, try and work it down the ground, and it's 5 points the difference.
In all the contested area of the game this afternoon, their work rate's been outstanding. Sydney are probably nearly the best side in the competition at the contested part of the game. And Port Adelaide are all over them at the moment. In all these situations here, all this stuff.
Tim Schmidt with problems getting into his back. He wins the free kick.
Now, they've got to be smart here, Port. There's a lot of emotion in the game, but if you give a free kick like this, you could just see Salopek. He was going to have a go at the umpire. You just got to be smart and disciplined.
It's a tough free kick.
It was too, don't worry about that.
Roberts Thompson. Malcheski.
It's a big ball, this one.
Cross ground. Daniel Pearce takes the mark.
Motlop's out. Motlop's out again.
Made some space, gets there before Bevan.
He's out on his feet too.
Short passes on, and he finds Kane Corns.
Too far out. There's Motlop just working his way over there.
You can just see him now walking in.
Corns hoists it to the hot spot.
Got a contest here, Port.
Ball knocked out of bounds.
I don't think I've ever seen so many balls get thrown in next to that point post than I have in this last quarter. I've had about 4 there, right next to the point post.
Well, Sydney are pinned in their defensive 50 at the moment. Laid with a fist on it. Trent Ray out of thin air! Miraculous!
Oh, it didn't go through.
Stayed in the ground. Well, Sydney looked to clear, but they're struggling to do that.
Daniel Motlop did. I think he wanted to go out, but then thought, no, we might keep it in play. We've got players here. Trying to put it through his legs.
Into time on in the final quarter. Roden on the ball.
Inside 50s for the quarter, 12-5, Port Adelaide's way. And it's 3 goals to 1. Look at this. I mean, Port Adelaide actually need, this suits Sydney to have the numbers there. Port Adelaide need to get a few of those players around the stoppage in a dangerous position. Try to clear it out a little bit.
Tough ball to be won. Roden tackled by Malcheski, given some latitude. Chad Corns. Good work from Jude Bolton. Brett Kirk not far away again either.
Well, they've got a loose man. Pettigrew's a loose man now for Port Adelaide behind the ball. Mark Williams will be just saying there, get back. You can just see him there to Pettigrew. Don't get sucked to the contest.
Buchanan leads the charge, kept it alive. Bevan overran it. Here's Motlop. Handball over the top. Daniel Pearce shrugged down by Matner. It's a minor score, and now we have a straight kick the difference.
That's a big point, and great chase by Matner. These blokes are out in their feet. It's just something about the Sydney Swans, Liam. You're just playing these games every time. Let's play on. Bad kick in here.
Richards with problems.
Good decision by the umpire.
You know, you talk about tough players. Brett Kirk is up to 30 possessions, and his mix is 16 contested possessions and 14 uncontested. That is playing a tough, hard brand of footy.
McVeigh, a hurried kick forward. Playfair knocks it to O'Loughlin, joining in Jared Moore. Now there's no one between him and the goals. Jared Moore. Push taking the kick, but he gets the finishing touches, and we're tied away.
Well, we just talk about the Sydney Swans. They forced this ball forward, and they couldn't get any momentum. They were all flat-footed, the Port Adelaide defenders, because it bounced up high. And just Jared Moore, we know about his power and his strength, keeps his feet and finishes, because he could have missed that under pressure, but now again goes back to the centre bounce. What a magnificent game. What a great finish.
What a finish we have looming here.
I'll tell you what happened then too. They lost their loose man. what happened? The Sydney Swans pushed the man forward. Pettigrew had the man up, so well done to Paul Roos.
Scores level, less than 5 minutes to play. These teams have never played a draw. Goods, third man up. Get some distance. More involved again.
Matt just push forward here if they can win this ball.
Buchanan couldn't mark it. Carlisle been steady all day. Boat with problems, shut down by Smith. It's a surgeon.
Oh, well done.
Shaking the tackle of Playfair. And Ebert running onto it.
Oh, well done there, Barry. Free kick.
Free kick.
Oh, he's hurt himself too.
All right, with 4 minutes to go in this game. Look at that. You see that? Yeah, probably three there. They need Brett Ebert, but looks like he's, yeah, it's the right ankle, but looks it.
Tell you what, you don't want to get the stretcher out because he might come good in a minute. Might be a stinger.
He only has to work his way. They're saying he's done for the day. Look, I think it's his right foot goes not there.
Oh, just there.
No, I think it's this one. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
It's his left ankle, boys. Definitely his left ankle. So he's carrying his left ankle.
Exactly. Why didn't we just go to you in the first place?
Oh, Daniel Pearce. That is unbelievably dumb under the situation. You kick a drop punt down the line and keep the ball in play close to the boundary line. Now the rebound's on.
You've got to have an ounce of luck in these games, but the team with the best composure, or the most composed team, normally wins.
Darren Jolly set Leo Barry a task. Run of the ball to Richards, having trouble finding it though. Leo Barry just palms off a would-be tackler. Now they're running. Jude Bolton drives long. At the back, O'Keefe climbing high. Unsuccessfully, found it on the ground. Got a kick away. Port Adelaide with numbers. Chaplin.
Oh, just a pile drive.
Luke Ablett straight over the top, but no free kick.
He's hurt too.
Oh, he's nearly out on his feet here. I think the umpire again was blindsided. Let's have a look here. That's a free kick every day of the week.
When you get the knee to the side of the
Where's the
head.
third umpire? Had to be in a position to see that.
Chad Corns wins the tap. O'Keefe with a run of it though. Chaplin appears to be okay. O'Keefe escorts it over the line.
Gee, with 3.5 minutes to go in the game. It's a bit groggy for Troy Chaplin.
Well, so he should be.
He knows his opponent's going to keep running all the way through to the end. He's got to be with him.
Sydney have already had one draw this year. Second beckons here. Jude Bolton to Kirk. 45 out, bringing it back. Mark's been taken.
Schmidt.
Tim Smith has taken the mark, playing his first game of 2008.
Good contested mark too. Not a lot surgeon could.
I think he said it was over the shoulder too, I think.
Well, he needs to really think his way through this.
Just 16 games to his credit, made his debut here against Port Adelaide, round 17, 2006.
Down the banana.
Top 10 in their goal kicking last year. Any score puts them in front. Tim Smith, what a time to get your first goal of the year.
Wonderful goal by a young player. We talked about composure, and the Swans fans that have made the trip, and there's a few of them here, they were dead, they were cooked. And again, they found a way to get the ball forward. They extricate the ball from stoppages better than anybody under pressure. Brett Kirk was involved in that long kick. You look back at the end of this game, and you're going to say, if the Swans win this game, the player who's been the most influential player on the ground will be Brett Kirk.
Well, Tim Schmidt, who took 2.5 years after being recruited to make his debut, puts the finishing touches on. Sydney lead by a goal, less than 3 minutes to play. Brogan wins the tap. Pettigrew hard at it. Port Adelaide with numbers.
I'll tell you what, Wilson.
Jolly though, strongly. And they knock the ball out of bounds with 2:44 on the clock.
Michael Wilson's finding out that the modern game, he's been out for a long time, the modern game has gone up another notch.
And boys, just on Brett Ebert, he's on the bench and he's wrapped his ankle in ice, so no further part of the game. So the goal kicker's out.
Cassisi taken down by Brett Kirk.
They're all the players you want around the contest there. Look at Brett Ebert's ankle. All the players Port Adelaide want at the contest are there. Corns, Roden, Pearce, Burgoyne. They need to get a good clearance here.
Hogan with the tap. Does his own roving as well. He's trying to shovel it forward. Motlop gets involved. Kept it on the line just inside. Still dancing around.
No room to move that.
Shut down initially by McVeigh, but Port Adelaide going for Westhoff at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Roden involved. So too Wilson. A quick kick. Bevan shut down. Swans will be happy to see this over. And we've got 2 minutes to play.
Tell you what, I don't think Paul Roos has put a player behind the play. He was a loose man. I try and get laid back on. I think just his hands at these stop plays is a little bit more inventive than Brogan.
Hasn't used him really in the ruck all day.
Salapak third man up. Lewis Roberts-Thompson with the kick. Brogan dispossessed.
Oh, they're out.
McVeigh, Schmidt, Jude Bolton waited for support. Provided by Kieran Jack. O'Loughlin 1 out. Gets goal side of Thurston's. This could seal it. Thurston's great tackle. O'Loughlin still going. Look away handball.
Henry.
Playfair. McVeigh gets it back. O'Loughlin the target. Salopek shuts him down.
Still a bit of time in, a minute and a half to go.
I think the O's caught one on the side of the head.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, Port Adelaide need to score twice. They're pinned in their back pocket. 1:23 on the clock. Luke Ablett running onto it. Ball still in dispute. Here's Schmidt. Jude Bolton, quick kick out of the congestion. It's smothered. Any score for Sydney here, and you think Port Adelaide couldn't get across the line. Schmidt. McVeigh for the finishing touches with a minute to go.
Oh, those little blokes in the midfield have done the damage today. Moore, Buchanan, McVeigh, Kirk. They've just been sensational, and when they were challenged, and they had no right to win this game. They had absolutely no right. They had no ball inside the forward 50 the first 20 minutes, and they've willed their way to this win, and I think through the leadership of Brett Kirk, and McVeigh has just become a very, very good AFL footballer. Great finish. You'd reckon Porty got their work well and truly cut out here for 2 goals in a minute.
Well, the fans have seen enough. They're heading home. 31 minutes played. Sydney by 12 points. They were a goal down at the 14-minute mark, Sydney, but they've kicked the last 3. And are going to get across the line and win their 4th straight game against Port Adelaide. Treadray still with plenty to give. Gets his team forward and now out of bounds.
Tell you what, little things win these games, and Kieran Jack's tackle on Peter Burgoyne to turn that ball over. You know, he comes from a rugby league family, so he should know how to tackle well. Gee, it was fantastic play.
Well, his dad was the best rugby league player in the world in 1987. Here's Peter Burgoyne. Boak. Cassisi pinned in the pocket. Squares the ball.
No one there.
Leo Barry happy to see it over the line.
Last roll of the dice has got to be a goal straight from this stop play. Right. Leo Barry would be happy if Brett Ebert's gone off.
Would he ever?
Goods looking to clear the congestion. The luxury of a bounce. And that looked deliberate from here.
Umpire, well done. Good decision.
Pettigrew with the ball. Has to fire quickly. Gets it into the pocket looking for Robbie Gray. But Ted Richards was right there with him.
I know they're under pressure. They don't know what the time is, but the top of the square is the danger area. The pocket, it's hard to kick a goal from there anyway.
Tell you what, 12 points at quarter time, 11 points at half time, 14 points, and the margin now 12 points. They've just been a couple of goals better all day, haven't they, really?
It's been a tremendous match.
Uh-oh.
Free kick going to Port Adelaide, right on the siren, so it matters not in terms of the result. And Sydney have prevailed here, coming from a goal down at the 14-minute mark. And Sydney lead by 12 The margin may change, but they'll get the 4 points in what has been a memorable affair. Cassisi with a shot after the siren. 48 metres out. Never had it on line. It's a minor score. And the Sydney Swans have prevailed by 11 points after Port Adelaide hit the front for the first time during the final quarter. It's Sydney 16-9-105. Port Adelaide 14-10-94.
Well, a magnificent game of football. Well done to both sides. And the Sydney Swans again, we say it time, week in, week out. They just play a game that whenever they get challenged, they'll find a way. And normally they shut the game down. They've ended up kicking 16 goals. Port Adelaide had their chances, no doubt. They had a dominance of the game in the first 15 minutes of that quarter. Just a magnificent contest from both great, very good sides, very good sides.